Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
it comes to
Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
TexAgs Live.
I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We will develop men, we will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
It's a blessing to be in this position, and we're just thankful to be here. We're thankful to have the opportunity to go out there and play in front of the 12 men.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
It's been special. The 12th man this past week was unbelievable.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
I stand with Pate. Welcome into TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Media dramas out there, and I just wanted to make sure that I support my guy. How you doing, OB?
I'm doing all right.
I'm sorry, what? What was that?
I'm doing all right. Look, yes, the voice is still kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm of the mind that, hey, if you're able to play, you play. There's a difference between pain and injury.
Yeah, well, I'm not able to play tomorrow, so I don't subscribe to the same methodology. But it sounds like a little Barry White-ish. Can you do a little romantic OB?
Barry White? I'm trying to, can't get enough of your little baby.
Good morning,
no matter
buddy.
how I try.
How was Arizona?
Arizona, I wasn't there long.
12 seconds.
I landed, was picked up in the car. It took us about, I guess, 4 hours to get out of Arizona.
Yeah.
But it was it's a long drive, but we were celebrating. You know, I now know that the young man's going to get a job. He's been offered a
Congratulations
position.
to Quinn.
And I know that he'll get a I don't know if it's a phone call or an email or whatever within the next 2 weeks to tell him what's the compensation package and everything and when the starting date is. And I'm really looking forward to hearing that so I can know when he's off the payroll.
Off the payroll. So the idea of 0 week is fantastic to me. I love the idea of 0 week. And then I look at the games. I'm like, yeah, I'll watch. Okay, you just broke the mic. I'll watch. I'm interested in the Kansas State-Iowa State game in Dublin. I'm interested in it. But they really should do some, I think they have in the past, but some marquee games on 0 week. Don't you think, at least one game that, must watch?
Yeah, I think the idea is that some of these games, anybody will watch it just because it's college football.
Yeah.
But why is it a 0 week? Because there's zero interest in some of these things?
That's probably why. Yeah, it's probably week one, right? If it's the first game.
Yeah, that tells me if there's games, it's week one.
You want me to read you the games to see how much interest you have?
Yeah.
In them? All right. So 12 o'clock on Saturday, I hope this is correct. It's Kansas State versus Iowa State in Dublin. It's probably 11 o'clock.
Okay. Well, I didn't have a lot of interest in that one, but I see two Big 12
Two ranked teams.
That are ranked. So
yeah.
I guess my interest is Dublin.
Dublin for that one, okay. UIW at Nichols. Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care. When I say I don't care, I would rather watch paint dry. Okay, I'm lying. I would watch that. Idaho State at UNLV. I'm interested in UNLV.
Well, they have all the cast. They're like Last Chance U.
They do have
UNLV. Yeah, a lot of cast-offs. Some that were here.
We have Tarleton State.
Texans.
Part of the A&M family. Versus Portland State.
You know, probably 40 years ago, that might have been interesting when Mouse Davis was at Portland State and, starting the run and shoot, but not now.
Little interested in Fresno State at Kansas. By little, I'll check in and check out quickly.
I'll be interested enough to check the score.
Yep. UC Davis and Mercer. That one is a must-watch.
Go Aggies.
Yeah. Sam Houston at Western Kentucky.
Sam Houston. They're our neighbors. So,
yeah.
Go Bearcats. By the way, I'm not really rooting for the Cal Davis Aggies.
I didn't think you were. We got Stanford at Hawaii.
That, to me, is interesting, just to see who's worse.
Okay. And then, this one. You have to watch this one.
Okay.
North Carolina Central versus Southern.
All right. Well, what is it? HBCU?
I'm familiar with Southern, not familiar with North Carolina Central. I was thinking North Carolina when I first saw it, like maybe Bill Belichick, but no, it's North Carolina Central.
Yeah, it's in the central part of North Carolina.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Did not know that. Huh. You think you're going to be able to make it the whole hour?
Oh, without a doubt.
So those are the games.
I'll probably get better as the more I talk. I
don't think that's how it works.
All right, let's see.
All right, let's talk about this Big Ten report, okay? They're populating an idea to potentially expand the college football playoffs from 20 to 24 or 28 teams.
First of all, if you're going to do that, just take the Eli Drinkwitz idea from SEC Media Days. Just make it 32. It only adds 1 week to the season, and nobody gets a playoff bye. That said, I think it's too much, and I think they should expand it to 16 and be done with it.
Here's the thing. Can we let something just happen for a little bit? Like, I don't know if this has ever happened with you and Irma, but like Elizabeth maybe will have me move a couch somewhere, right? And
Okay.
or the kitchen table for a day or two, right? And we eat dinner there. The kitchen table's fine. It's a kitchen table. It works. And then a day later, she's like, you know what? Let's move it here now. We just moved it, bro.
Yeah. I've experienced all of that except for referring to Irma as bro. Other than that, but Irma's like every room in the house changes. Quinn, we have 5 bedrooms. Quinn's room has been 4 of them.
4 of the rooms, okay.
And I'm like, why are we moving? She always has I think that's just a feminine trait. She sees you not doing anything. You're probably enjoying yourself, watching the game, just enjoying yourself, lay back, relaxing.
Relax.
And she said, I got to come up with some crap for him to do. And if she can't come up with anything else, let's just move stuff around.
So is this what the Big Ten's doing? Let's just give him some more to talk about.
Probably, bro.
Pate thinks this is their strategy to maybe actually get it to 16 teams.
Right. Start high, something
yeah.
crazy, and then you start negotiating through the middle.
But let's talk about it. An expanded playoff really does what college football purists will say this to you, and it is the absolute truth in this case. It will diminish the regular season. Because now we're talking about teams that have 4 or 5 losses, or maybe 4 losses, getting into the playoffs. 3 losses, 4 losses, potentially.
Yeah.
Because if you're 8-4, can you be a top 25 team? Yeah, right? Because of LSU.
If it falls just right.
Yeah.
I think that's too many. What's funny is I heard somebody talking about saying, well, coaches are for it because they feel like that'll save their job. Hey, we got into the playoff. And I'm thinking, how many coaches are going to lose their job?
For not making the playoffs.
You couldn't even get into the playoffs.
You couldn't get into the expanded play. Look, not everything has to be the NCAA basketball tournament. Not everything has to be college baseball, right? I like playoffs because for years, when we were growing up and even as adults, like it was stupid. We're going to vote on the champion.
Yeah,
that's just dumb.
Inane.
But we don't have to keep tinker. Let's let it play out for a little while, and then we tinker with it.
Well, I agree, except that I do think they should expand to 16 because, like I said before, I don't think it's right that some teams only have to win 3 playoff games to be national champions and others have to win 4.
Right.
So beyond that, and I think the first 2 rounds should be on campus of the high-rate team.
I like that. I like that a lot. All right. Now I'm going to ask you a question about A&M's future, okay? What does a 9/10-win season do for the program? How much does it move the needle? Because I'm gonna attack this from 2 different lenses, okay? One is, God, finally, right? It's been a minute, okay? The other part is, and I hate saying this, but it's the truth. Okay, we can do it once. Can we do it twice? Right? Can you not have 2012 to 2020? Can we not have 8 years in between what we consider excellent seasons? But let's just start off with a 9-win season. What would that do for the perception of Texas A&M?
Well, I think if they get into the playoff with 9 wins, I don't know how much it changes the perception. You just said have a great season in 2012, a great season 2020 and a lot of mediocrity in between. And I think before you change national perceptions of A&M, you're going to have to do it more than once. So the first time you do it, and hopefully it'll come this year, there's this idea that, hey, okay, A&M had a good year. But there'll be those that they're just going to shrink right back, and you're going to look at all the impending losses.
Yep.
But you can't start a streak without getting the first one.
Yeah. To me, though, a 9-win season, and 10's a different animal, but a 9-win season says, look, what Elko is doing is working. Let's give him the time and the resources, which they've given him, to keep it going. Like, I think what an 8-win season does is, even if we see proof of concept, even if we see going in the right direction, what they'll say about it. It's the same thing.
Stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
You're in that rut. You got to get out of that rut. And I think they have the team to get out of that rut. I really do. But they've got to overcome their own history of losing games that they are absolutely expected to win, of doing the things that make you lose instead of doing the things that make you win. And I'm talking about, you're open, a pass hits you in the chest and you drop it.
Right.
Or you bust the coverage, things like that. You watch it and you're like, or the ball, you got an interception lined up and then you just goes through your hands. Successful teams make the big plays. And that's what Mike Elko, he's trying to build this program into that. And we'll see. Maybe it'll be this year, and maybe this year will be the start of the renaissance of Texas A&M football.
I think you and I are similar here. I have not changed my opinion about what I think A&M is going to be from, let's just say, April to now. Okay, like I still think we could be really good. I got some questions that need to be answered. What I find interesting is nothing has changed since April to now. But now a lot of national heads are like, A&M, playoff team.
Well, I think if you examine A&M, let me put it this way. If you took all the data on A&M and removed any names, if it was all blank, you would go, quarterback, okay.
Right.
An entire offensive line that was really successful, yeah. Look at these running backs, yeah. Okay, and you would start looking at the pros and cons, and the pros outweigh the cons. And then you start thinking, oh, you know what? This team could be really good.
How many truly elite players do you have to be a 9 or 10-win team in the SEC? And then the follow-up to that is, who is truly elite in your eyes at A&M?
You know what? Here's the deal with that. It's funny you should mention that. I was watching some old A&M games last night, and I came to the conclusion that you need the elite players, but to be really good, it's the second tier has to be really good play. They don't have to be elite, but they got to be. I'm watching a game that had Christian Kirk, Josh Reynolds. It had Travion Williams on the team. They had Eric McCoy, Ricky Seals-Jones, all 5 of the NFL players on one offense. And then on defense, they had at safety, you had Armani Watts, you had Donovan Wilson, Justin Evans, Myles Garrett. Deshaun Hall played in the NFL. You had Terrell Dodson out there. And I started counting, and there was Kingsley Kiki. There was 7 to 8 NFL players on defense, and there were 6 on offense. And then it was an 8-win team.
So, truly elite players, are you saying don't necessarily?
Now, look, a lot of those NFL players I just mentioned were not first-round picks.
Sure.
Obviously, Miles was, and Eric McCoy was a second-round pick, and Christian Kirk was a second-round pick. And there are other programs that had more than that, and they were better than A&M. I get it. But what I'm saying is, you had that kind of NFL talent and won 8 games. So coaching is a big factor.
Yep.
And then just being able to, again, have that, being lucky with injuries, because you lost your quarterback. Maybe it would have been that. Maybe that would have been a 10-win team, or even more, had Trevor not gotten hurt. So you got to have a little bit of luck, but you have to have better coaching than you had then. And I think it's the second-tier guys. I know you have NFL players and you have guys that don't make the NFL, but at least they're really good college football players.
So how many truly elite players does A&M have? Truly elite.
I don't think we know. We have some guys we suspect.
Le'Veon, truly elite?
I think he is. I think so.
Armage?
Yeah, I think you may have 3 of them in the offensive line. And they don't have to be elite in the NFL. They have to be elite college football
Yeah,
players.
exactly my point. Yeah.
And I think at least 3 of them in the offensive line. Basantes, Zune, Armage, Concepcion could be. I think you might find Marcel Reed become that. He's building toward that, I truly believe. And there may be another receiver. The speed of Craver, everything we keep hearing about Ashton Bethel
ABR,
Roman.
yeah.
Who knows where these guys are going to go? And on defense, Cassius Howell could be. Torian York can be. Will Lee, Tyreek Chappelle. But you know what? They got to play to elite levels.
Yep. All right.
Some have.
This is TexAgs Live. You knew that.
I didn't know that. It is TexAgs Live.
Typically, we are hanging out at the holistic
Planning Cool Zone.
Yeah. We didn't do that today, but I wanted to look at it from here. It's a good view.
It is a good view.
Yeah, I'm glad you agree. Thank you very much. If you want to be a part of the conversation.
Very agreeable.
Yeah, you are. Thank you, Thurman. If you want to be a part of the conversation, Thurman Munster, got a little bit of the deep voice.
You mean Herman?
Oh, you're right, Thurman.
Thurman Munson was the catcher of the Yankees.
Yeah. If you want to be a part of the conversation this morning, call us up 979-693-1150. That is the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Call that number. We'll chit-chat with you. You can text that number as well. Loaded show, by the way. Maybe Nick Savage can tell us what's happening on the program. Nick Savage behind the glass. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, y'all. How's it going?
What's up, man?
Good.
It's going good.
Hey, do I sound better this way or normal? I mean, really, my voice.
This way.
Olin, I don't want you to be sick, but I could listen to you talk right now forever. You sound great.
That sounded a bit suspect.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit over the top.
Yeah, a little over the top. I mean, I could listen to you for a few minutes, but I get tired after a while. Sorry.
Okay, moving on, Nick.
We have Alan Weddell. He's going to be in studio at 8:35.
Hello.
You got Jamie Morrison, 9 o'clock, Texas A&M head volleyball coach. You got Brandon Marcello, 9:35.
Hello.
Armage Reed Adams, 10 o'clock. Hello. What are you saying?
Hello.
He's making fun of me. Ribbit.
And
Hello.
then, David, maybe you could talk a little bit more about that 10:35 segment. But
Yeah,
we're going to have
have
Manny Obaseki and Jackson Brasseux.
Yeah. And Brian McCormack, who runs Breakaway, they're going to come in. They have their big event coming up, their kickoff here in a couple weeks. So, or actually next week, I should say. So we'll talk to them about Breakaway and what Manny's working on, and Jackson getting ready for the season. So that'll be a fun segment there at 10:35 a.m. What else do you have for us this morning, Nick?
Yeah, so I went back and looked at Week 0 games going back to 2017, and that's how I always played a game earlier than everyone else. But 2017 was the first year where multiple teams played a Week 0 game. And actually, this Iowa State-Kansas State game, first ranked matchup of Week 0 going back to 2017. I don't know about way back in the day, but at least to 2017 up until today, first ranked matchup. Not even Florida State and Georgia Tech was a ranked matchup last year.
Okay, so last year, I was going to say, I thought that we started one last year. Okay.
No. Florida State was the only ranked team.
Okay, and then Notre Dame 2 years ago, that was Navy. Navy was obviously not ranked.
No. Aggies have, they've rated those rosters of those two teams that we're going to be watching on, Iowa State.
That's right.
Tyler Onuden.
Yeah.
Kansas State. Will Lee and Colin Klein.
Yeah, we've done quite well taking the people that we want. Yeah, thank you very much. Should we go to the Angry Elephant Youth and Social Center?
We should.
Reese Nygren is in the hizzy. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are y'all?
I'm doing well, sir. What's going on with you?
So the last time 2 ranked teams played in Week 0 was 2000, when number 15 USC beat number 22 Penn State 29-5. So it's been a while since.
Been a minute
since 2 ranked teams have played.
Look at this. It's like you and Nick prepared that segment together. That was very nice.
I got to help them out. Going to the soccer side, the Texas A&M women's soccer team got their first victory of the 2025 season, knocking off the Lamar Cardinals 1-0, thanks to a goal from Trinity Buchanan in the 87th minute.
Tell your niece thank you.
You got to watch out for those Buchanans.
The match was a physical battle that saw 2 red cards along with 2 yellow cards and numerous fouls. The Aggies will return to Ellis Field for a 7:30 p.m. match Wednesday against the Texas State Bobcats.
Do we know why the red cards? I'm sorry, I was not watching last night. I actually passed out super early.
I actually called that game with Casey Atnip, and there was almost a straight up fight. I can't remember. It was Leah Diaz who got picked up by one of the Cardinals, and she literally, as they went to the ground, used a fist and slammed it onto the back of Leah Diaz. So there was almost a little fight there. And then I think Tristan Jernigan, Taylor Jernigan, excuse me. Tristan plays football for A&M. Taylor Jernigan had a high cleat tackle on one of the Cardinals. Maybe a little bit of payback. I don't know. But, yeah, those were the 2 red cards.
And then the late late game winner.
Trinity Buchanan, really pretty, almost off the back heel, real soft touch into the upper 90. So it was really cool to see and really exciting. 86th minute.
You're a soccer guy.
Kind of.
Welcome to the community.
For the Aggies, I will be a soccer guy.
The language.
As long as he's been paid to be a soccer guy,
he dropped an upper 90 and, I
don't even know what. 90-degree angle?
This guy
What does that mean? 90-degree angle
Nick,
or what?
Explain it, Nick.
Oh, you're going to put me in a bad spot here. No. OB, you got 2 90-degree angles in well, I guess you got 4 technically, but the upper 90, the goalposts.
Yeah, so I said
and then the crossbar.
90-degree angle.
Yeah.
So, yes, that's
there you go. He got it. OB's a soccer guy, too.
Yeah, you are. Here comes a joke. Here comes a diss. Here it comes.
No.
Okay.
I was just going to say that goal, the way he described it, I would expect nothing less from a Buchanan. I bet she'd play hurt.
I bet she would, too.
I'm not going to lie to you, OB. Every time I said her name yesterday, I was like, I would think of you just a little bit, just because like, is she related? She can't be related.
Hey, let's hit a break, shall we?
She might be.
Because when we come back, 25 and 25 inside the top 5.
Oh yeah,
truly
we're
elite.
Really close.
When we talk about truly elite, we're getting to that elite. Truly elite, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that on the other side. If you could take Armage to eat today, no, not today, Thursday.
Thursday.
Where would you take him?
Well, if you're buying.
We'll use the company credit card.
I'll take anybody I would that I like, that I want to reward, impress. If my son, he's leaving tomorrow, but if he was going to be around this weekend, I'd say, hey, son, you've earned a reward. And the only place I can think is 1775 for amazing Texas barbecue.
What if you had 2 media members that are beefing, okay? They're going at each other. Or one is, trying to talk mess to somebody. How would you try to get them on the same page?
No, I probably wouldn't. What I'd do is I'd bring them both out there and then order it, and then just me and Pate would eat it, and we would eat it in front of Phillips.
I didn't even say the names.
I just...
Why do I feel like Michael Corleone going to the bathroom to get the gun? Stop.
I would say, look, see these pork ribs? Oh, look at this succulent brisket. Want some? Psych. Hey, you want some sausage with this jalapeno cheese? Nope, can't have it.
1775txbbq.com. That's the website.
Can't have this turkey either.
492-6241.
Or the queso mac and cheese.
What was that thing you did again? Never mind. We'll be back. Hey everyone, David Nuño and Olin Buchanan and OB. Typically we start off the show in this section and we call it the holistic planning
The cool zone, yeah. It's pretty cool.
What do we know about holistic planning?
Well, a lot of cool stuff. For instance, holistic planning can help you with your investments.
I love that.
They can help you with your taxes. So
I don't like paying taxes.
You can get that money from your investments and they keep it, they'll help you keep it away from the government.
Yep.
Not all of it, but more of it. And then they'll even help you with your estate planning. When you're old like me, you got to make sure some of that money you made is there for when you want to retire and just enjoy the rest of your life.
You want your estate to be planned, but they also do something else.
Yeah, well, if you are like, say, a sports fan and you've always wanted to...
Everybody watching us, right?
Yeah. And you want to always dream of being an owner, well, in a certain way you can, because they will broker the deal for you to invest in pro sports.
Yeah, what you need to do is check out investinprosports.com. That's where you can get all the information if you want to invest in a team. I don't know what team. He'd probably try to buy the Cowboys. I'd try to buy a lot of the Houston teams. Whatever it may be, investinprosports.com. It is holistic planning, and we love hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Almost had a major accident with this coffee as I walked back into the studio. It's TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for 25 in 25, presented by La Casa Tequila.
La Casa Tequila, sí.
Raised in Aggieland.
Rooted in the SEC.
Kind of like your voice last segment. I feel like
I told you,
yeah.
The longer we go, it'll start getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better. Number 5 on the list is a guy that I hope is a dynamic playmaker for Texas A&M and elite. His name is Casey Concepcion.
Casey Concepcion.
I made him very Latino there, but Casey Concepcion.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to seeing him play in a real game for the Aggies. I think he's going to make a big difference and a new dimension to the A&M offense. 124
catches and just under 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns over 2 seasons at NC State. Set the NC State freshman record with 71 receptions, 839 yards, and 10 touchdowns in 2023.
Yeah, he was the ACC Freshman of the Year.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, he's fast. He has really good hands, runs good routes. I think A&M immediately got better the day he said he was coming here. And the receiver position is a position of some concern. Well, that guy right there will ease a lot of the concern.
He also added 356 rushing yards on 60 carries for 2 scores in his time there. Ranked as the number 5 wide receiver in the transfer portal, according to On3, and the 9th overall portal player.
I was watching some of the games from NC State because I wanted to get a better idea what he was. This was a couple weeks ago, man. The slant, he's just lethal on it. He just has that ability to get in front of people, make that slant and then run away. Yeah, I think that's going to be a heck of a combination with him and Marcello.
Pro Football Focus has him as the 8th best receiver prospect for the 2026 NFL Draft.
Okay.
We can go up higher than that.
Top 10 guy, he could, but, give me a top 10 receiver.
But really, the reason he would be top 5 regardless of the need, but he is definitely top 5 because he provides a need. And A&M needs versatility. They need some speed. They need somebody to be able to get separation, and he provides a lot of that.
Well, he brings an explosive element to the offense that maybe wasn't there last year. Did they have some explosive plays? Yeah, they did. And a lot of times it was because, not all, but a lot of times it was because, quite frankly, defenders just missed tackles.
Right.
But this is a guy that can just catch the ball and do great things with it, kind of like Anaya Smith. Maybe a little bit faster than Anaya.
Maybe. How do you think they're going to use him?
In a variety of ways. I think I wouldn't be surprised if you see him on jet sweeps, probably in the slot, but you can put him out wide if you need to. Just any way you can think of to get him, one-on-one matchup.
Right.
Because he's going to win them more often than not.
And look, we know that Marcel needs to take a step, but if with the step and with a receiver that can get himself open, I mean, now we're talking about the ability to, because what they'll do is they're going to get these slants that you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Which will open up Ashton Bethel-Roman over the top or Mario Craver. But the fact when Concepcion gets the ball, he can make something happen as well.
Without a doubt. Like I said, I was watching over and over. And not just, you can say, yeah, ACC. I was watching him against some really good teams. And they played at Clemson, and they lost that game. But he was doing everything he could.
Right.
I mean, he kept them in the game. Yeah, he's just a very electric player that, I think you're going to see a lot of big plays on this offense. And I think he's going to provide a bunch of those.
I hope so. I'd certainly hope so. All right, let's hit a break here. When we come back, not only do I hope so, I expect so. That's a better way to phrase it. When we come back here on TexAgs Live, I believe Alan Weddell will be here in studio.
Oh, the coach. Good dude.
Good dude. Duck Camp. I'm wearing a Duck Camp shirt right now. T-shirt. They got T-shirts. They got it all.
It says so right there on you.
It says T-shirt?
Or it says Duck Camp.
Okay, yeah.
With a fish.
Yeah. Because they're the outdoors.
Oh, okay.
It's not fish camp, although a great place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My niece went there last year.
Yeah, but it's duck camp.
Duck camp.
Where you can go duck hunting if you want, right? Or you can just look cool wherever you go with their T-shirts, their hoodies, their polos, you name it, fishing gear. They have it all at Duck Camp. I wear a lot of Duck Camp gear, and I know that OB's
Nice
got
stuff.
some. They got great stuff. Kids steal it all the time. My boys are like, can I have that? Quinn stolen from OB. So that's why I have to keep ordering more, and I get to wear it maybe once, and then the kids realize, I think I want to wear that. So that's how it is with Duck Camp, so make sure you get yourself some extras. The website is duckcamp.com. That website again, duckcamp.com. Go check it out. We're back here on the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. It is TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio, OB Nuño, and Alan Weddell, the coach, with us. Coach Weddell, how are you, sir?
It's great. Great to be back at Aggieland.
So we are close to game week, a week away.
It is here.
Where are you on the Aggs?
I'm excited about it. You know, I know this year we've seen a lot of lower expectations because of all the 8-4s and all that, but I'm gonna swallow the Kool-Aid this year. This is the year I really think we're going to be good. I think Elko's second year. I think the Aggie problem has not been talent, and it's still not talent. It's been a culture, getting the locker room right, and that's what a second-year coach can get. I mean, first year you got to feel them out. Second and third year, and nowadays with the portal, the second year. You got to get your culture in your dressing room right, and I really think that he understands that. Has probably been attacking that for the last 6-8 months, and gets the right combination in there. Then the talent can play with the big boys.
Yep.
Okay, so aside from Coach Elko being in his second year, I'm talking personnel-wise. Why? Everybody knows they got the offensive lineman back. They had that last year, right? They had the offensive line. So why are they going to be better?
Well, they're better than the offensive line because they're back again.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. They have the best or as good a running back meeting room as you're going to find. You know, they're top 2 or 3 in the conference. And when you say you're top 2 or 3 in the Southeast Conference, that means you're in the top 5 or 6 in the nation.
Right.
Okay. I think we got the very best wide receiver that was in the portal this year. We got a quarterback. Because of the running game, because of those receivers, going to take some pressure off our quarterback. Play action pass, use his legs when he wants to. He's got to come through and show he's that 4-star passer. But if he does, our offense is going to be really exciting. I really do think we can be exciting. Defensively, the linebackers are back. That makes us better right there with their leadership and that. The secondary will be better. Elko is taking charge of the secondary. He's going to make sure that's better. He's an outstanding position coach. He knows what he wants back there. He'll get it straight. The secondary is probably the one position, and I was talking to Brian Gamble, who's defensive coordinator at UT Rio Grande Valley that played down here. The secondary is the one position of trying to coordinate everything and get everybody on the same page. It just takes one mistake back there, and you look like a fool.
Yeah.
So I think the secondary will be much better. The defensive line, not as talented, but I think will be at least as productive, probably more, which makes everybody better, makes the secondary better. The lack of production in the defensive line last year, I think, put a lot of pressure on our secondary and our linebackers. So I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the lower expectations. So now people will be coming in here with some excitement when things go well. And the program is on the verge. It's been that way before, but it's on the verge with our coaching staff. If we get the culture right, of being a 93, 10, and 2 every year, that's competitive.
Yeah.
Competitive.
So kind of going back to the secondary, but really it's the entire defense. How do they limit big plays? Because that was what killed them last year.
Yes. Again, secondary blowing coverages, type stuff. You've got to be able to play man. You've got to be able to play zone in this league and mix it up and disguise it. And that takes time, and that takes continuity of working together. And so I really think that they'll do a good job of getting that straight. And like I said, when you recognize your problems, which sometimes you don't find out to the 5th or 6th or last year, the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th game of the season, and you attack them with a staff and a defensive-minded head coach. I think, again, that was one of the great boosts. First defensive-minded head coach we've had since RC.
Right.
And so I think that will solve the secondary problem.
You mentioned the linebackers. I thought that the linebackers very often were average last year.
I'll give you that.
But I also thought they were best when Torian and Scooby were playing together.
That's exactly right. I'm excited about those two guys. And I think your linebackers are only as good as the people in front of them, type stuff. And if you didn't get production or the defensive linemen didn't do their job and our defensive linemen didn't keep the people off of them, those 350-pounders on those 220-pound linebackers is not a very good matchup type stuff. You can't run when you do that. So I think we're going to be better. I like their leadership of those two kids.
Well, I like a healthy Scooby Williams. I think makes a difference.
I think it makes a he's an athlete, yeah. And Torian's a great leader and has experience to play, and we'll play better around him.
We were talking before the segment about the defensive line and the production last year not being what it should have been. One of the things Jay Bateman said, and I believe Coach Elko also said, was they weren't able to do some of the things that they wanted to do aggressively with the defensive line because of some of the back end issues. So, considering it's a new defensive line, considering they think they fixed the back end, how more aggressive can they be on the defensive line?
That's kind of 6 one way, halfway, half dozen the other. Is it the back end or is it the front end type stuff? You know. So I think again the second year, I think again the off season, the summer, the meeting time, the walkthroughs, all those type of things for some young kids and very talented now. No one says it. We've never heard the word we don't have enough talent to win.
Right.
We hadn't heard that for years. And with NIL and with the portal, you should not ever hear that again with Texas A&M. We should be one of those type of teams. But you just got to get over the hump. And winning produces winning. Confidence produces confidence. And if we can get early success, I think Notre Dame is a big key game from a mental aspect. I think we can go in there. I think we are as talented as they are. And I really think we can go in, surprise them, find a way to win it in the fourth quarter. And that will be a springboard to the rest of the season. We'll hit there's 5 games this year that we have to compete in and have to win most of.
Yep.
You know, Coach, I agree. You're absolutely right in all those things. And Notre Dame is a game that's going to shed a lot of light. But and I know as a coach, you're probably going to tell me this is stupid, but I want to see them in the first 2 games go out and win by big margins. I think your great teams typically make those lesser teams. You just absolutely dominate and blow them out. That's what you're supposed to do as a great team. And I haven't seen a lot of that.
That's what the Alabamas and the Georgias and those people do.
Yeah.
And you're right. It stayed close too long. What I would like to see, and I'm not as worried about the point spread of victory, because in those first few games, you want to play a lot of people. Number 1, it's hot. Number 2, there's still some questions on a lot of people. But you want your starters to get in there, your top players to get in there, dominate the game, make it comfortable, and then play some younger kids early. So I agree. We have to show, and I think that we can agree on this, we haven't really shown a killer instinct once we get people down.
Yeah.
You know, we've done a good job of coming back and fighting back, that kind of stuff. But when we take the lead, we haven't put people away. We haven't seen too many 30-0 at halftime.
Yeah, I just think now UTSA, it's a pretty solid program.
Yeah, they're a good program. I'll take a win over that one.
I'll take 38 and 41 on that one.
I'll take a 2-touchdown win over those people. Jeff Traylor does a great job there, and I talked to him this summer. They've marked this one on the calendar. This is a big one.
Of course.
Yeah.
But then the next week you need to score 50.
We should be able to go home early. Type stuff,
That's what a good team does.
That's what a good team does. Exactly right. And then we got the big one, Notre Dame. We're open. Auburn, that was an embarrassment last year. Mississippi State, there we go. We are ready to have some momentum. We should definitely be 4-1 going into Florida. Good chap to be 5-0.
So
it's at home.
Yeah. So one of the things is kind of back to the big plays, but I'm going to take a different spin on it. Obi, do you remember what the number was? How many times they got to the quarterback and weren't able to bring him down?
26.
26.
They had hands on the quarterback 26 times and didn't get the sack. And
there were several times just they didn't make tackles even in the open field.
Right.
You're a coach. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is Coach Elko doing with them?
You get used to missed tackles. It's a change in the game. They have totally changed how you teach tackling. You can't put your head across because you'll get targeted. So you got to put your hand behind. That, in the old days, we'd have called that arm tackling. Mm-hmm. But that's basically what people are doing nowadays. So the bottom line is...
Get used to it.
Get used to it. I'm sorry. They work on it. They do all the drills. They tackle dummies, 10 minutes a day. You can't, with 105, well, you got on your team, you can't get people hurt doing crazy tackling drills and going live all the time.
Right.
I think it's part of the game. The game has always evolved toward the offense. Well, that rule helped the offense more than anything. The tackling, changing the tackling.
But there's got to be some kind of emphasis on
It's got to be the emphasis is instead of head placement. The emphasis is you got to grab cloth and you got to hold on. That's your buddy's got to get there. The emphasis has got to be the second man is the one that's going to make the tackle, and that's what you got to work on. But again, those quarterbacks, the day of the dual threat quarterbacks, they're pretty good too.
Yeah.
And when you're 6'4" and 230 and can run, and
Lenore Sellers,
one of those. I think Arch Manny's going to be one of those guys. He's going to break some tackles and cause some problems. I think we got a kid that way, but he's just not 230 pounds.
Right.
Type stuff. So.
Well, he can be shifty and.
Oh, no, Johnny Manziel was a 230 pounds.
Kyler Murray was
no
a
doubt,
guy.
No doubt.
So it's just if you can play, you can play.
Oh, you can go through the league, and they're the ones that make the plays and drive the coordinators crazy. They also force you to sometimes even spy on them, which puts you in man coverage behind, where we can make some advantage of.
Coach Weddell, sounds like a dumb question. I don't mean it to be dumb, but how deep is the SEC? It's always deep. But in years past, there was a clear-cut Tier 1. There's a Tier 1 right now, but I don't know if the gap between Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 is that big. How crazy deep is the SEC this year?
The SEC is probably deeper, but the separation is not as much because of something called the portal and NIL. Where's Noah Thomas at? Georgia. One of our best receivers. He goes to Georgia. Where's Concepcion at? He's at our place. One of their best receivers in the ACC.
Right.
The rosters change so much every year. And with some people with the money that buy the top players, I'm not real sure that any team has the depth that the Alabamas, the Georgias, and the top teams had because of that.
I agree.
But I think the difference between, I'm going to just say, the difference between Alabama and Florida, which is a 1 in, 5 or, team in the Southeast Conference, all the way down to Arkansas and give me another one down there, team that's not considered Arkansas and not Mississippi State. Maybe they're down.
They're really down.
They're really
Auburn.
down.
Yeah.
Auburn. I mean, that's a great example. The difference there is not nearly like it was.
All right, we got to drop it there. Coach Weddell, thank you, sir.
Anytime.
Great seeing you.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll hit a break here. We'll come back with a very short other side. Right now, if your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, check out the Association of Former Students that brings Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year. We're talking about Aggie Ring Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, The Gathering. They all welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees. And they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand and get them in front of everybody with on-site presence, activation, recognition, and social media posts, and much, much more. There's also advertising opportunities in the Texas Aggie magazine and the Aggie News newsletter, which are seen by over 230,000 people. So if you are ready to engage with Aggies, choose a partner that's been with the organization supporting the Aggie Network for over 140 years. For more information on options available through the association, please email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. It is the Association of Former Students. Let's talk a little Snaps clothing. David Nuño here, and I love wearing Snaps clothing everywhere. I've got the flannel on right now. You've seen me in the Tailgater collection with the A&M gear. It is fantastic. If you see me around town with my sons, Christian and Cruz, they've got a bunch of Snaps gear. When they have big games for Consol, they wear nice clothes, so they wear their Snap stuff. And I'm telling you, with baseball season here, let's all kind of go looking stylish and fit to the games there at Olson wearing the Snaps clothing. As a reminder, they are the only official licensed Texas A&M Pearl Snaps maker out there. Their Tailgater collection is built for game day with breathable, moisture-wicking fabrics to keep you comfortable while you rep your Aggies in style. Now, whether you're watching the game from home or maybe you're in attendance, you're tailgating, whatever it may be, you got to make sure you head to snapsclothing.com to see everything they have to offer. It is fashionable, it is awesome, and you're going to love it. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Go Hour, coming to a close, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. So apparently there's some chatter. What do people want to know, Nigel?
Figurine. Some people have been asking in the YouTube chat, where's the beef?
Well, Wendy's had a slogan in the early 80s about where's the beef. It was an old lady.
Yeah. She said, where's the beef?
She was a little younger than you, right?
We're probably the same age.
You know what I don't like?
What?
I don't like that I do that joke to you because people do it to me and I feel like I got to do it to you. Like they treat me like I'm the old guy and I do it back to you. That's not fair. You're young.
I own it. I'm getting up there in years, but that's okay.
It's a mindset. So
You're only young once in your life, but you can be immature the rest of your life.
Well, this is true. I don't actually understand the beef.
I don't either.
I just know that I'm on a team.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on team MJ over LeBron every time, and we can argue later if you want. But there's certain teams you sign up for, right?
Yes.
I'm going to be Real Madrid over Barcelona.
Okay.
Okay? I'm going to be A&M over Texas, no matter what.
All right.
Right? And I'm going to be Josh Pate over the rest of the field.
Okay.
Disagree?
I actually like Josh Pate's podcast. I think he's very knowledgeable, and he gives well thought out opinions.
And he's my buddy. So you know what? Bros before knows.
Y'all got that kind of Hans and Franz things going. When y'all get together, y'all just like flex at each other.
Yeah, but he's a little bigger than me. Hey now. But I probably have more cardio.
Okay. Yeah, that's something. You always have that, more cardio.
You want to go for a run later?
Well, I mean,
I didn't think you were actually going to think about it. But, okay.
I don't mind. I don't mind running.
Oh, okay. Jamie Morrison next on TexAgs. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Jamie Morrison in studio to chit-chat. Now we're finally at the weekly segments, my friend. Good to see you, man.
I know. It's good to see you, too. We get a cadence. I missed this the entire offseason.
Well, actually, I think I just saw you like 48 hours ago,
It was
right?
something like that. It feels like it at least.
But we had something in between.
We did.
So
we had something to look forward to also.
Wednesday?
Yeah.
So how was the weekend?
It was great. It's just always nice putting on a uniform when we talked before in the locker room, just about hopefully that, I don't know, gets the competitive juices flowing and we get activated a little bit. And that's what we play this game for. And we just talk about looking forward to that moment as opposed to running away from those moments. So it's good to put a uniform on. It was good to get in front of the 12th man again. And I think it was probably the best crowd we've had for Maroon White. And watched video of our team last night. And there's a lot more good going on than things I need to fix. And that's always a positive thing.
It's a step in the process, right? Like, yes, it's not, Baylor's going to be a big test, but it's a step in getting you guys to the next step or the next level.
Yeah, 100%. Like anything you learn, whether it be like the way we act or the way we play or anything along those lines, like when you put a uniform on, it changes things a little bit. Sometimes we slide back into old habits. And I think, again, the thing I'm encouraged about, and I keep coming on here, it's not like I don't know, just speaking of rainbows and ponies when I get on here, I'm really fired up with what I see is just all of the stuff we worked on is stuck. And then again, you put it in that environment where we have a uniform on, it's a little bit different. Then you throw a different colored uniform on the other side of the net, and hopefully those things still apply on Wednesday. Right. But just overall, it is a step in the process. But I think we're passing those steps splendidly.
So I was listening to the post game, and what are some takeaways after watching the video? Like you watched film, you broke it down. Anything that maybe not surprised you, but like, okay, I see we're doing this better than I thought, or.
Yeah, I think I was in it, and I felt like we were passing really, really well. I feel like we have been, and then this actually happened in practice over the last 2 weeks. I'm like, man, we're passing really well. And like, there's a battle that goes on there between the serve and pass. And I was like, man, we must be serving really easy. And I went out and threw a radar gun on people, and it was clocking in at 42, 43 miles an hour on a float. And I'm like, no, that's a tough serve. So I just think our ability to pass the ball, we've upgraded that throughout the spring, and I just think across the board, every single player that's back there is able to put up an angle and put up a ball in the right spot more often than not. So that wasn't a surprise because I think it's something that's continued from camp into that match. And then just how natural some of the things that we think are important are. Like there are so many times, I don't know, like one person was scrambling for ball, we had the entire team following, and then we had teammates picking each other up, and just some of the, teammate ship stuff that we talk about a lot. It's not something that's forced anymore. It's just a piece of who we are, and we talk a lot about that.
Do you simulate scenarios, sorry, that was hard to say.
You're good.
In order to it to be second nature when game time comes.
Yeah. And I think that's what practice is for. And we talk a lot about that. We talk about making a skill a piece of you. When you get into the heat of competition, and in our sport, you're at 14-14 in the fifth set. In football, you're in the fourth quarter on a 2-minute drive. You don't want it to be like I'm forcing myself to be this technical person. It's say, this is who I am, or as a team, like this is the way that we act. This is who I am. It's something that flows from me, not something that I have to force out of me. But we try to do that as much in practice. And again, this is why when you're saying like the Maroon White is a piece of the process, yeah, like in order for that to really be truly a piece of us, it has to show in that moment. And then the next one is, all right, can it show in the Baylor moment in this match that, somebody else is on the other side of the net, but there's no win or loss that goes like a little tick mark in the column. And then it's hopefully showing up the first match we play against Minnesota.
Tell me if this makes sense. Obviously, winning a championship.
Some of it. I hope a lot of it makes sense.
Well, it is the goal. That's the goal, right?
Yes.
But when I look back at parts of my life, the process is the part that I enjoyed.
Yep.
You win a national championship, that changes the whole conversation. I'm just saying, like, years back, when you look at this and you look at some of the teams that you've built, it's like the practice on a Tuesday and the Wednesday that nobody thinks about that really is the fun part of your gig.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, and I came back to this, like, there's a competitive piece of it. You see it on the sidelines constantly, like, I want to win, and it's hard to win. Like, I was just having this conversation yesterday. Like, you spend 4 years with the national team, you go to the Olympics, at least you get a chance to bring home 3 pieces of hardware, gold, silver, bronze. And you have these annual things where literally one team is deemed successful out of 335 in our sport. And that's hard odds. So for me, I came back, there's a competitive piece that I want to prove I'm really good at what I do. And that's, success over time. And then the second piece is the relationships.
Yeah.
And if you talk to any single one of our athletes, if you talk to any coach, there's going to be a match you might remember in there, but it's more just like this funny moment with an athlete. It's, the opportunity you have to go on the road. And there's all of these experiences that happen along with it that are really, really important. And then the making piece is a piece of you. Like for me, it's sending our athletes off into the world, whether it be going to the national team, going to play professionally, going to be a professional out in the business world, being a mom, like all of these things, hopefully that we're teaching the ability, and we're going to talk today a lot about being mindful. But that applies everywhere. I can tell you it applies as a parent when my kid is screaming at the top of her lungs that like, and I want to react, but in that moment, can I take a breath and be a positive model for my kid is really, really important. So all of those things kind of coalesce into this thing of like, we're trying to make these skills a piece of them so that it hopefully has us win a national championship. But again, it bleeds into the other pieces of life.
So we, try to, the fall sports are here. We're thinking, all right, what is soccer going to look like? What is football going to look like? What is volleyball going to look like? At what point do you think you have a good feeling for the kind of season you're going to have? I mean, I know you feel really good, but like, is it, can you know now, or do you have to know after games?
I would go, there's two pieces for me that like I knew I think, and again, you never know. Like, I think let me go on this one. As a coach, like I'm even having this thought right now. We're going to throw our team out against Baylor, and like you have this like model and video of what this should look like in all phases, like the way we play volleyball, the skills, the culture, all of the stuff. And as your team gets closer to it, it's like, this is awesome. We're going to be really good. But then like, what if your video is wrong? What if the model in your head is wrong? And like, that's the inside the head of a head coach there of like, all right, this is our chance to go test that. But for me, it was springtime. I think just the, ability of skill that we had in that, the way that we were playing teams. And if you look at, top 25, we played probably 4 or 5 of them and did really well. So there were pieces of that where I'm like, all right, like you're looking at this against competition and like the way you're going about business. And then for me, it was day one of practice this year because there's the process that got us to that point during the spring.
Right.
And in our sport, we don't get to coach our athletes during the summer. So like I'm hands off being like, please, I hope they're doing the right things in the gym. And you come back in day one, you realize very quickly who, and I don't know, for us, it was the majority of our team had done the right things during the summer. It's just like not seeing your kid for 3 months. All of a sudden you come back and you're like, ooh, you got better at that.
Yeah.
And then the second piece was just the way we went about business that day was just like, oh no, they're dialed in. It isn't like, hey, we're going to be good and we think we can just sit on our seat here and it's going to happen. It's we're going to go through the process of what got us to the point at the end of last year and do that every single day. And again, where I'm sitting here, get it. My team is making fun of me because I say I got chilled, but I literally just did again. Like it's just the way we're going about business. And like we've had really 10 bad minutes of practice the entire camp that we've had, and that's the thing that's telling me we're going to be good.
I read that this little 3-week stretch for the last couple of weeks, just the practices have just been really good. Give us a glimpse of what that means.
Yeah, I think it's one. There's the dialed into getting better piece. And like we're very focused in our gym of having 7 things on the left side of our whiteboard that, hey, we're going to be very mindful about trying to get better and leave different in these 7 things. So I think there's the technique piece and the, systems piece of we've just been able to come in here and go check, but just the competitiveness that's going on. And I've said it over and over again. I think we have one of the best practice gyms, but like it's just they're getting after each other in the right way. They're getting after me in the right way. If like the score's wrong or the drill's wrong in some way, shape, or form. And just the depth that we have. And that's through just, the development of the people that have chosen to be here for a long period of time and the freshmen that have come in and bought into what we're doing. This combination of just like, it's just a high level that you're seeing in the Maroon White. It's entertaining volleyball. And I think anybody can step on the floor and contribute in a lot of different ways. And you're going to see that throughout the year.
And hopefully this doesn't happen very often, especially this year. What does a frustrated Jamie Morrison look like at practice?
I was just thinking.
Because you're kind of calm, right?
I am calm. I haven't been frustrated, I think, more than once this entire camp. And like, I believe in, this is the way I go about things, of like setting boundaries of these are the things that will make Coach Jamie frustrated. I don't call myself Coach Jamie. I just said that for the first time in my life. But I believe in like our athletes knowing what that is on a day-to-day basis so that they feel safe enough to come in and take risks. Because our sport is very taking. Like I got to go up on a high ball that's 25 feet up in the air, try to time this thing at the right time and hit it as hard as I can. That's hard to do, and I'm going to make mistakes sometimes. So there's really kind of constraints that we have that like, hey, these are the things that I'm going to get frustrated with, and we just haven't hit those. So I don't get frustrated unless that happens. But I'll raise my voice probably about 6 or 7 times a year. I'm usually pretty calm. The other ones, and I think my players have enough respect that I can be like, hey, that disappointed me, and that's going to hit them harder than me yelling. Or hey, practice wasn't up to par today. And again, if you're aligned with the mission, which is right now being the best that we can at the end of this year, like that's the thing that's going to disappoint them the most. So where I say we're in the right spot is I raise my voice probably more in year 1, a little bit less in year 2, and like I've done it once this year. So I think it's just because our players are aligned with what we're trying to do, and I don't have to anymore. Like they're the ones holding themselves accountable.
So we've talked a lot about your I don't want to say star players, but some of the known players, okay? Talk to me about the development piece of those that you are so proud of. Like, this is where you were, this is where you are now. And I know you take great pride in the development portion.
Yeah. I'm not going to single out individuals because it's all of them right now. Like,
right.
I don't feel like, I feel like it's a piece of it. Like, I don't feel like anybody was left behind. And I think somebody was. They're like, man, I need to catch up. And again, that's when you know you have a team in a great spot where it's like everyone has to keep up. So I think the thing that I'm most impressed by is just everyone in our gym can play international volleyball right now. And with that, when I say international volleyball, the rules are different. You can't sub people out in the back row. Like, all your outsides need to be able to pass. Your middles all need to be able to serve. And just if we were to go over and, I don't know, play in Champions League, like, we would be able to play the game the way that it needs to be played at that level. And for me, that's important because I want our players to go on and do that if they want to. But I just think just across the board, everyone can kind of do every single skill. And I think that's really important.
Playing with a chip on your shoulder. The greats do it even when they're being great, right? But that's something that you like your team having that chip, right?
Yeah. No, and I think up until this point, like, we've been the underdog. I think we finished 2 or 3 spots above what the SEC coaches said every single year, and I'm hoping that stays true because that has us winning the SEC this year. But I think this year it's a little bit more of like, how often can our team break the opponent is what they're thinking about a little bit more. So we've had to change our mindset a little bit on what that chip is, but I think we're heading in the right direction on that.
Talk to us about Baylor. Wednesday, by the way.
Yeah.
Definitely want to come check it out.
6 o'clock. I'm right this time.
6
so
o'clock,
Thanks for correcting me last time.
Yeah, that was Nick. We're going to blame Nick on that one. But just what can we expect from Baylor? What can we expect from Texas A&M?
They're, I don't know, a good volleyball team. They serve tough. They're going to serve with a lot of velocity. And again, like, for me, it's a great test of being able to see really kind of does our serve receive hold up against that. Fast offense for them. Just how do we manage that is one of the things that's important. And it's actually, like, as I'm going back and scouting kind of both of them, a good warm-up for us playing Minnesota. It's going to be similar. Tough serving team, runs a fast offense as we get in there. And I think for us, just hopefully playing good volleyball across the board. And I think what you saw on the Maroon White, continuing that of, can we get out there? Can we pass the ball at a high level? Can we serve at a high level? I think the last time we played Baylor, we got them into a lot of trouble from the service line. And I'd love for that to continue. That was a big point of emphasis for us during the spring of trying to, I don't know, get a little bit more aggressive there, but also be able to keep the ball in the court a little bit there. So to see that kind of going as we get in there, and then play with some emotion. And I think you saw it a little bit. I was just going back and watching the video, and the stuff blocks, even against ourselves, you're seeing the emotion come out of us. And we've talked to our players a lot about, like, it doesn't need to look the same for everybody, but when you come down and you stuff a ball or you get a kill off the hands, like, you got to come down and look like you meant it. So I think just hopefully, I don't know, excitement from, I don't know, the way we're playing volleyball is the other thing.
I think it's interesting because I think of people who are emotional with their anger, with their emotions when it comes to just celebrating a good play. And you're kind of both. You're very emotional on the sidelines in a good way, right? But you're also kind of dialed back when it comes to your teachable moments.
Yep. Yeah. No, and I think for me on the sideline, like, I don't know, I used to be probably the same on the sideline, and I had this realization, like, I need to let my competitive self out of me. Mm-hmm. And we talk in our program a lot about being you through us, about, like, there's a personality that you're going to bring to this team. And for me, like, I'm a fiery competitor on the inside. And if I'm going to ask my players to be them through us, like, I need to be willing to do it on the sideline too. But, like, I think, I don't know, when we go through life, we need to be, I don't know, a certain person in different situations. And in a teaching environment, that's not necessarily safe if I'm just yelling and screaming constantly. And again, I want my team to take risks. So when it comes to the final fiery me that you see on the sideline, it's more for our athletes, not against our athletes.
Right.
But I really want them to go big every single moment that they have. And in order for that to happen, I got to be behind them.
At this point in the preseason, are you still experimenting, or is it now fine-tuning, or is it maybe a little both?
A little bit of both, I think. Yeah, as you said that, I'm like, yeah, we're kind of doing both right now. And, like, again, I think you're going to see, I don't know, different people come in and contribute in different ways. As I'm saying that with experimenting, I don't know, like, lineup-wise, different people can come in and impact matches in a different way every single night. And I think you're going to see that as we get into this season. So I think there's an experimenting then. I think we don't want to make large changes. Mm-hmm. Like, again, we played around a little bit with some stuff during the spring where it's like those big changes. I don't necessarily want to be like, all right, we're going to go introduce this whole new concept 3 days before we play. It's not the way to go about things. But I think we'll continue to tweak and move as the season goes on. And I think if you stay static, you're going to lose. Other teams are going to get ahead of you.
I know we've talked about this before, but, like, today, walking around town, like, just talk to me about how this community has kind of don't want to say change, but they're really behind you, right? Like so, like the excitement level heading into a season now. Can you feel it?
Yeah, no, you definitely. Yeah. And our crowd at Maroon White was larger than it has been. Like, I'm hoping that we play Baylor, and I think if you're listening, like the Baylor match is going to be a great volleyball match. I know it's an exhibition, but they're a top 25 team, and it's a top 25 matchup at home. So I just encourage people. I'm trying to encourage our event staff and everything. Like, let's treat this like a match and put on a show. But I feel the excitement around just with the attendance, with the way people are talking about our program. I feel like people are more interested, and I came here for this reason, to try to turn the 12 man into volleyball fans. I feel like we have more volleyball fans now, and I'm getting fired up. And I think kind of the season sneaks up on you, and then all of a sudden it's like, man, we get to play somebody else on Wednesday, and that gets the competitive juices flowing a little bit.
By the way, at closed practice, there's a show. In an arena, there's a show. You guys always put on a show.
No, it's one of our core tenets also. Like, we're here to make this an entertaining thing for the people that come and watch us. And I tell our team, like, there's a little bit of us that's in the entertainment industry. Like, we want to make sure that we put an entertaining product. And I think maybe the most fiery I got last year when we were talking about, like, it's probably after our Florida game, and I didn't think we did that. And that's the thing that we got to do every single night.
Jamie, thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Go support Wednesday, Reed Arena, 6 p.m. All right, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. If you're a business owner and you're looking to add to your fleet of vehicles, go to Caldwell Country Chevrolet. If you're just a normal Joe like myself, you can go there. You'll see an incredible selection of vehicles, great pricing, great trade-in value, and of course, they have the best customer service when it comes to complimentary pickup and delivery for their service customers, and free oil changes for life on the life of your purchase, as long as you own that car, from Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryan to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you're going to see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. All right, friends, David Nuño here. While I don't drink a lot of vodka or tequila, my wife does, and that's okay. I can talk all about it here because it's time for Frio Vodka and Rio Agave Tequila, and they're ready to raise their game with the right team, and it starts with Texas brands at Total Wine and More. And before we cheer our Texas Aggies on to victory, we need to stock up on tailgating with the right partners when it comes to adult beverages. And that's why we love Frio Vodka and Rio Agave Tequila. And they're proud to be in their second year as sponsors of TexAgs. And now through Labor Day, this is really important. All profits will be doubled and donated to the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. It's Texans helping Texas. That's right, the local brand and diehard Aggie fans are continuing support for our state. We're talking about Frio Vodka, not some orange and black labeled brand. Frio, it's 6 times distilled, handmade, crisp, clean vodka. This is the only vodka that should be poured in Aggieland. And Rio Agave Tequila is ideal for Aggies, whether it's the award-winning additive-free Blanco Tequila or the tasty ranch waters using 100% blue agave. You can taste the passion and dedication in every sip. These premium products are about supporting Aggieland and the Texas A&M community. All right, friends, this season, keep it in the family and pour with a purpose. Pour Frio Vodka and Rio Agave Tequila. And we're back. It's TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Hour number 2 of the program, obviously, 9:22. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. We're going to, in a minute, do Around the SEC, brought to you by the Jaxer Group. But before we do that, got a couple texts and commentary to come in.
Yeah, we had a text from Dustin asking, what advice would you give to somebody trying to chase their dreams of being in sports, but they're not getting a lot of views on TikTok, but want to go towards YouTube? Should they just stop if they aren't getting the exposure?
Dustin, put the camera on me. You don't stop. If you stop now, you ain't going to make it, buddy. Like, that's just, it's supposed to be a grind. I did not get on television until I was 29 years old. Okay? And I thought I was a failure in my industry because I couldn't get gigs. And some people would still say, you're a failure, David. But
no,
I didn't need that. But thank you. I'll give you a hug later. But my point is, whatever you are chasing a lot, not to turn this into a Tony Robbins segment, but if you want YouTube, and I know you have to have a social media presence, do you self-analyze what you're doing? Are you looking at what works, what doesn't? Are you looking at any metrics? Are you talking to others that do it at a high level and trying to mimic what they're doing? What are you doing to be better? And I don't care what your dream is. If Reese wants to be a talk show host or he wants to be an engineer, the people who do that at a high level, I had someone stop me the other day like, hey, you know what? I think my son should come work for you at TexAgs. I go, oh, really? Like, yeah, he watches sports. Okay, cool. I'm not saying what we do is hard, because it's not hard. But I treat it with the same respect and energy that a lawyer treats their craft, that a lawnsman treats the lawns that they're covering, right? If you have pride, how you do one thing is how you do everything. And I would just say, talk to folks that do it at a high level and critique your game. Work on I don't know what your format is and how you go about it, but no matter what you do in life, follow the process and the results will come. I sound like a football coach. Nigern, what else?
Very inspirational there. Madden in Houston said, Jamie Morrison is the second best coach at A&M behind Pat Henry. Definitely going to my first volleyball game this season.
All right, let's go. Look, they're like my children or my grandparents or my uncles. I'm older than some of the coaches on campus, so that was rude. I like them all the same. Pat Henry is definitely the most decorated, and we have a great relationship. Jamie and I, awesome. Look, we're very blessed to have the coaches we have here.
Yes.
I mean, Coach Elko's my guy, right? Like, I love him. I love Michael Early. Like, I think Bucky's going to be incredible. My interactions with him have been fantastic. But Jamie's doing it at a high level. We have huge expectations for him. All right, you want to do Around the SEC, brought to you by the Jaxer Group?
I do have a few things for Around the SEC. First off, Tennessee announced that Appalachian State and UCLA transfer Joey Aguilar will be their starter for their season opener versus Syracuse in Atlanta on August 30th. I don't think there was a whole lot of questions about if he would win it, but they had an open.
First off, I don't know how good he is.
Nobody.
I just really don't. I know the Appalachian State jokes are there, but I don't know how good of a quarterback he is. He was probably going to be the starter at UCLA. They get Nico. They've probably an upgrade. But I don't care who you are, joining a team mid-spring, like, that's hard to be the quarterback of a team in the SEC. You're jumping up several class weights, right?
Yeah.
He's got to be the best option that they have. I think Tennessee, they got a great coach in Josh Heupel who makes his offense work no matter what kind of personnel he has. He does kind of tinker with it to work. If it's the running game, if it's an aerial attack, he does figure it out. They're probably going to be fine. I think but they're taking a step back. They're not a playoff team this year. I think they take 2 steps back.
I mean, would we view Joey Aguilar a little different if he had played a year at UCLA?
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, and it might be bad. It might be good. Like, if he's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
they might catch lightning in a bottle, but
he might be really good. I've seen 19 seconds of Joey Aguilar clips, as most of us watching, right? I should probably watch some more. From what I've seen, okay, let's just see what happens.
Injury news on the Alabama front. Alabama's running back Jam Miller suffered a collarbone injury in the team scrimmage this past week. Alabama did say they are hopeful that Miller can return by their game in Athens against Georgia on September 27th. That would mean that Miller would miss games at Florida State versus Louisiana Monroe and versus Wisconsin.
I still think that Alabama's 3-0 in those 3 games.
I would have a hard time picking against them. Now, people are going to
They demolished Wisconsin last year.
They did, in Wisconsin.
And your boy Castellanos at Florida State.
Hey, man, don't hate on Castellanos.
I'm not hating. He's got a great last name.
And then ESPN had a panel of college football writers give their bowl predictions for the 2025-26 season.
Okay, so hold on. I have not read this.
Okay.
If you tell me the Texas Bowl, I'm walking out.
Kyle Bonagura has A&M playing BYU in the Texas Bowl.
That's it. I'm out. I'm not going to do this show if that's what people are going to say. How can, how can some people be like, playoff team? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, some people are saying playoff team. Some people are saying the Texas Bowl. It's almost comical. Every year, like, they give A&M the Texas Bowl. And I like that. I've told you, I have friends that work for the Texas. This is not a shot at the Texas Bowl. They just played there 2 years ago.
It's like a
not even 2 years ago.
It feels like a default answer to just put A&M in the Texas Bowl. But Mark Schlaubach had them playing against Illinois in the Citrus Bowl.
Now that one I can get down with. Citrus Bowl, Florida Bowl.
We can get behind.
Illinois is going to be really good this year. They were pretty good last year. I think they're a 10-win team.
Where they had other SEC teams, both of them had Texas as their number 1 team, but they also had Georgia, LSU, and Alabama in the playoff.
Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and Texas. So they have 4 SEC teams.
Are the 4 SEC teams in the playoffs. Other teams that you might be curious where they had them. South Carolina, Bonagura had them playing Louisville in the Mayo Bowl. Schlaubach had them playing Indiana in the Schlaubach had them playing Indiana in the Reliant Quest.
Say that one again. Indiana and who?
In the Bonagura had them playing Louisville in the Mayo Bowl, and Schlaubach had them playing Indiana.
You pulled an OB and you went kind of low on the word, so you didn't have to pronounce it correctly.
Plays Indiana in the Reliant Quest Bowl. I feel like that would be a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah.
Florida, Bonagura has them playing Kansas in the Liberty Bowl, so maybe he's not as high on Lagway. Schlaubach had them playing Duke in the Mayo Bowl. And then Oklahoma, Minnesota in the Music City Bowl, Baylor in the Liberty Bowl. So they're not as high. And then Tennessee, they had them playing Michigan in the Citrus Bowl and Iowa State in the Texas Bowl.
So they have Tennessee having a pretty good year then.
Yeah. That's Bonagura has them in the Citrus Bowl.
Bonagura.
So.
By the way, is it, who said this on the YouTube? Brad, y'all couldn't give OB a day off. See, you have to understand OB, he's old school.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's got to work. He did walk to school in the rain and snow, even though it didn't snow in East Texas. He, without shoes, by the way. That guy doesn't, and I'm saying this as a compliment, not as a joke. OB will work. He does not, he feels his responsibility to be at work. He could have COVID and give it to the entire staff, but he is going to show up.
What did he say? The best athletes play hurt?
Yeah.
That's what OB did.
He treats the preseason like the Super Bowl.
I do want to shout out Derrick Henry's comment saying, "What are we talking about? We are playing at home this bowl season for our first game."
Oh, I like that, Derrick. Derrick, you're a smart man. I appreciate that. Let's hit a break.
Hey, David, real quick. Can we give a quick birthday shout out to Matthew Dawson?
What? That's why he was on the YouTube, baby.
Yeah.
He was hoping for love.
He was hoping for a birthday shout out. So happy birthday, Matthew. We miss you.
I love Matthew Dawson. He has been, by the way, he still works for TexAgs, but he's got a job now, like a real job. So he's busy during the day. So he says he works at midnight. We'll see about that. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back. Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports. We'll chit-chat with him about this whole Big Ten. I'm trying to get 24 to 28 teams in the playoffs, which I think is all a little scam or a little sham. What's the word I should use? A negotiation ploy to get 16 teams. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Milliken Reserve Time, Farm to Table Community in College Station. Homes, trails, farms, wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature, and they've done so by treading lightly on that beautiful land that you can find Milliken Reserve on, creating a sanctuary for family, for nature, and for community. They have an extensive network of trails throughout a wooded landscape that includes walking and equestrian paths. They've got creeks, they've got ponds, they've got gathering areas, and it's a place for families to cherish. Excuse me, I just learned English again. For generation after generation. They have a variety of species that find their homes there, from the preserved woods, the ponds, the creeks, and the plentiful white-tailed deer that are there, songbirds, rabbits, and turtles. And homeowners at Milliken Reserve share in a legacy of conservation, which means generation after generation coming back to that pristine countryside place. go check out the website, millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. Check it out. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza. And, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. Let's go to the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Brandon Marcello of CBS joining us here on the program. Brandon, what's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Hey, so let's start things off with 0 week. And I wish I liked these games, but I really don't. But I am happy to have some college football. I mean, there's some intriguing ones out there. Just what does it mean for you, for your gig now? We actually have games to talk about.
I'm so happy. I'm tired. I'm tired of the off season. I'm tired of talking to more attorneys every week than I do coaches. I'm tired of having to be bogged down with legalese. I'm tired of reading dozens of pages of legal documents. You know, as important as all that has been, the NIL, the House settlement, playoff formats, it's important, and I do enjoy it at times. I'm finally happy that we're going to get to a season where we get to tell the stories of players doing amazing things on the field and being able to share their journey with readers and viewers. That's what this is all about. Young people doing amazing things that only about 1% or less of the world is athletically capable of doing.
Brandon, what about when we didn't have transfer portal or college football expansion playoffs and conference realignment? What about those off seasons? Remember, there was a time where we had to fill content all off season for 8 to 9 months, and there wasn't anything going on.
Yeah, and even then, I remember it was almost like you're trying to drum up storylines by going to spring meetings at some of these conferences. I mean, I was sharing stories earlier this summer with some folks I was traveling around. It's like, I remember, like, I think less than 10 years ago, Steve Spurrier stepping out of a meeting room at SEC spring meetings and saying, he goes, "Hey, I proposed that in there that we should give a cut of our checks as head coaches to the players." And it was all like, everybody was like, "Oh my God, what an idea. That'll never happen. Players getting paid any amount of money, let alone a portion of your check." And here we are a decade later. Steve Spurrier always ahead of his time.
What do you think about where we are since the House settlement, like, was it 6 weeks into it, whatever it's been, and some of the hiccups, roadblocks we've seen? What do you think so far?
Not unexpected. I mean, any new system that's going to be put in place is going to have growing pains. Yes, of course. We know that. But also, you're going to hear stories about some schools trying to find ways to maneuver around the rules and stretch the rules. We're still in the early days of all that. I'm not too concerned about it as much as a lot of the other administrators are out there. I think a lot of administrators, even at the big schools, are mostly being motivated by the fear of, do I have enough money? Am I going to be able to do enough to where we're not massively in debt 3, 4, 5 years down the road? They are doing their damnedest to find new revenue streams, to mine more money out of revenue streams that already exist. And it's a very stressful time for these athletic directors, not just because they're trying to stay competitive with football or basketball or baseball, but because they're trying to keep their sports alive. They're trying to keep the Olympic sports alive. And I did a series this summer about the future of college athletics, like what's everything going to look like in 10 years? And every single one of them are concerned about Olympic sports being cut. I mean, we've already seen across the Division I landscape, at least 37, I believe it might be more now, at least 37 Olympic sports have already been cut, deleted, off the books. They're gone from schools. And that number is only going to increase, especially among the smaller schools. But power conference schools are not going to be immune to that. They just aren't. And I think recent history shows us that that's going to be the case, because remember, during the pandemic year in 2020, you had schools just going, we're dropping these programs for right now, including Stanford, where they have all the money in the world with their endowment. You're going to see some very difficult decisions be made. And there's a lot of ideas out there of ways to save this. A lot of them, though, are political. And in the political landscape, it is so freaking difficult to find a way that gets everybody on board.
Talking to Brandon Marcello here on TexAgs Live. All right, Brandon, let's talk about what it could look like for football in 10 years. If you were to, what do you think? Because, I mean, the last 4 years are completely different, right? And every year there's a new wrinkle. So what does it look like in 10 years?
I'm of the belief that there will be a quote-unquote break-off of some sort. What that'll look like, I'm not so sold on the idea that it'll be a super league. I think it's probably going to look pretty similar to what it looks like right now. It's just that because of the lessons that we'll probably be learning with this new College Sports Commission, that's going to be a little bit faster and more nimble in the governance process. So, for example, we just saw the Michigan sign stealing scandal finally get settled after 2 years, right? And they didn't get a postseason ban. And the main reason for that is because the Committee on Infractions said, well, a lot of the people that were involved in that, the coaches, are no longer there. So it doesn't feel fair to punish the players that are there that weren't there then. But under the new CSC, if they're acting faster, say you get that investigation done in 6 months, a lot of those people might still be there. So you might be seeing some harsher penalties and things like that. So I'm saying all that to say this. The CSC model, the hope is, the belief is that it's going to be a much better model governance-wise than what we've seen with the NCAA, because it's going to be smaller, it's dealing with a smaller number of schools, and they're going to be able to act faster. And if that's the case, and they notice that they could be more nimble, get things done faster, but also be able to tweak things faster and get everybody on board, why can't the CSC blossom into something that oversees just football, and you break away with that, the FBS conferences, maybe not all of them, but probably maybe all of them, most of them, break off, find a way to make more money through television revenue, find a way to do more flexible scheduling among all the conferences, and be able to make more money, but also give us a product that we're accustomed to seeing. Don't shrink everything down, because the fear is that we're just going to go into a playoff future here now that is limited only to about a third of all power conference teams and a select 2 or 3 group of 6 schools. And I don't think anybody wants to see that. No one wants to see the same 8 schools winning the national championship every year. And I think that's become very clear to me over the last several months, but especially, and I don't know if we're going to discuss this, but when news leaked that the Big Ten was thinking up these ideas of a 2018 playoff, I've got a story coming out later today where the reaction's mostly been just completely negative. Like, well, what the hell are we doing? We can't do that. Even among some of the power conference people, it's like, we can't just shrink this thing completely down where, as I mentioned, like a third of the power conference teams are in the playoff every year. Like, what are we doing? What's that do to the regular season? And for that matter, does that not pretty much kill the bowl system altogether and limit opportunities for others outside the power conferences? The reaction's been pretty negative on the negative end, and at best it's mixed among some athletic administrators. But again, the key here is that the Big Ten and the SEC hold the power with this, and I was surprised to hear that based off my surveying, there are several SEC administrators that like the idea.
Really?
Yes, I was surprised by that. But there are also several that are vehemently against it, that don't want it. And with this being pitched in the 11th hour here, they have to make a decision by December 1st. There is so much logistically they have to get in place just to even kind of go, all right, let's vet this out. Then let's seriously consider it. And then let's take a vote for it. Can you do that between now and November 30th? I don't see how. How do you get ESPN on board with this? How do you get ESPN, which owns and runs 17 of the 30 non-CFP games? They own and run over half of the bowl games. How do you get them on board with, hey, get rid of your bowl games, give us more money for an expanded CFP? Why would ESPN do that? I don't know. I'm not a businessman. I'm not a TV executive, but that's the feedback I've been getting from industry sources, TV executives I've spoken to, and athletic administrators. It would be a much different story if this was pitched formally a year ago and they had time to discuss this. And then one more thing on this. This isn't a new idea either. This came up in the SEC spring meetings. And there's a reason why it wasn't thrown out formally and pitched. It wasn't getting traction. So in a lot of ways, I think this, but also the people I've spoken to, and this is what has steered my thinking on it, because they're the ones who know. They believe that this is a negotiation tactic by the Big Ten to get everybody on board with their 16-team idea with 4 automatic qualifiers for itself and the SEC. Again, it's taking a page completely out of the book of business negotiations. Give them one extreme if they're not agreeing with what you want, and then get get them down back to what you really, really want, which is that 16-team format with multiple automatic qualifiers.
This is fascinating. And when does that story come out? Later on today?
Yeah, it should be out. I turned it into my editor about 30 minutes ago.
Okay. Brandon, before I let you go, let me just, last time we spoke, you felt pretty good about the direction of Texas A&M. Interestingly, I feel like all of us in the media, as SEC Media Days and Big Ten Media Days start happening, we start really formulating almost not new opinions, but strengthening certain opinions. So since then to now, where are you on A&M? Are you stronger on them? Are you still thinking, where are you?
Still strong. Here are my concerns, just based off talking to people around A&M. Defensive tackle, the middle of the defense, I'm a little bit concerned about after hearing about things happening in practice. The interior of the offensive line looks really good from what I'm hearing, which is going to be great for Moss to be able to run the ball as great as he does anyway. And Marcel Reed developing as a passer, I mean, it's always been a big thing. That offense is going to be more explosive this year. That's my belief. That's what I believe. But I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about the middle of the defense. We won't know until we know, right? Until we actually get in games or whatever. But from what I'm hearing, that's like my one thing I went, wasn't quite expecting to hear as negative things about the defensive tackle, middle of the defense situation. But the offense certainly looks like it's going to be more explosive. And I think the receiver core is especially underrated just because of what they added and then the emergence of Bethel Roman. From what I'm hearing, the reports out of there, that's a very nice development for that offense.
Brandon, I appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you.
See you, man. Brandon Marcello, CBS Sports, 247, you name it. Got his CBS jacket recently. I saw him post that. That was cool to see. All right, we'll hit a break. When we come back on TexAgs Live, Around Aggieland. Also, I haven't heard the same concerns about the interior part of the defensive line, but the defensive line overall, we do have some questions. So we'll chit-chat about that throughout the show. Farming and ranching families, they think different. They just, there's this sense of community. There's this sense of hard work and dedication. When you live on a farm, when you work on a ranch, it's just a different vibe, right? And those families, they want that culture to be not only established, but to be held for the next generation and the generation after that. And that's the beauty of Farm and Ranch Films through Heritage Films. They tell these stories, right? So the next generation that's going to inherit that land understands exactly what they're inheriting. They're not just inheriting a property, right? They're inheriting a way of life, a style, the fabric of their family. And Chance McClain and his team do these 2-hour documentaries about all these subject lines, from families to farms to ranches to family business, you name it. And what happens is the next generation gets to see it from the source and understand everything about it. You should reach out to Chance right now and get a documentary done, usually about 8 to 10 weeks. Bam, you've got yourself something you can watch with the entire family and then save it for the next generation. The website is yourheritagefilm.com, yourheritagefilm.com, 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341. It is Heritage Films. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's go to the party girl, Callie Garner.
The party girl.
Didn't you go traveling this weekend?
Just went to Dallas.
When I used to go to Dallas at your age, it was always a party, okay?
Well, I went with my friend Kay, so.
Oh, definitely a party.
And I met Katie and Allie.
Oh,
so
the biggest of parties.
Yes, it was very fun.
Where'd you guys go? What area of town?
Lower Greenville.
Lower Greenville. That's still a thing?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have for us on Around Aggieland?
Starting off with soccer, a late goal from Trinity Buchanan lifted Texas A&M soccer to a 1-0 win over Lamar last night at Ellis Field. In the 87th minute, she scored her first goal off a ball from Hattie Peterson, and the match saw 2 red cards, one from each team, but A&M's defense was strong, allowing just 1 shot on goal. And goalkeeper Erica Defferding secured her first shutout and a start for the Aggies, while the Aggies outshot Lamar 22-9. They improved to 1-0-1 on the season as they welcomed Texas State to Aggieland on Wednesday at 7:30. With volleyball, their season opener is just 9 days away. The number 9 Texas A&M volleyball team held its Maroon White scrimmage on Saturday at Reed Arena. Team White swept all 4 sets as head coach Jamie Morrison rotated the rosters. Senior Taylor Humphrey led with 13 kills. Afina Kosapala had 11 blocks, and freshman Megan Fitch made some early noise with 9 kills. On to the pros, former Texas A&M wide receiver Anaya Smith scored his second touchdown in as many games on Saturday for the Philadelphia Eagles. And on the baseball front, 2 former Texas A&M baseball players hit their first professional home runs this weekend. Caden Kent, who is currently playing with the Hudson Valley Renegades, which is the high A affiliate for the New York Yankees, and Wyatt Hensler, who is playing with the Fredericksburg Nationals, which is the single A affiliate of the Washington Nationals.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much, Galita.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. So I'm seeing this tweeted. New Ed Orgeron is considering returning to coaching after his 4-year retirement. I think it's time. I should get OB to do it. The voice.
You should.
Yeah. I'm getting that itch again. I see him I feel like that guy is more shirtless than bodybuilders. Every time I see a video of him, he's on the beach just walking shirtless. Good for him. Ed, go do it. Where could Ed O go?
Wherever Ed O wants.
I'm trying to think where he might. It would be. You know we're on the air, right? Oh yeah, that was on the air. Studio audience participating in the show right now.
He's giving his take.
Where would he go? Let me think.
How about 3 new SEC coaches next year? Jimbo Fisher, John Gruden, and Ed Orgeron.
I think Ed O should go to Arkansas.
Peak media days right there.
Ed O should go to Arkansas.
I think that's fair.
Gruden goes to Florida, but I don't think he's going to get fired. And it's another one that's going to open up. Auburn.
Jimbo to Auburn?
No. When we come back, Armage Reed Adams on TexAgs Live. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to have to reschedule with our Majay. We'll try to get him on here in the next couple days. I want to remind Houston Aggies, join us for a special screening of Breaking Tradition, featuring fellow Houstonian and Aggie Hugh McElroy, class of 71, at the Star Cinema Grill in City Center on August the 27th at 6 p.m. It is set during the Civil Rights era. This powerful documentary follows McElroy's courageous journey through a transformative period at Texas A&M in the 60s. Tickets are $25 and are now available in the Football Forum, presented by the Houston A&M Club in partnership with Texas Filmworks and TexAgs, with support from Rifle CRE and the Goodwin Group at Merrill. Don't miss this unforgettable evening celebrating Aggie history and courage. All right, if you guys want to be part of the conversation, 979-693-1150. That is our phone number. You can call us. We'll pick it up on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending hotline, or you can text that number as well. And before I go to Reese, I want to go back to something that I asked of OB earlier in the show. What does a 9 or 10 win season look for this program? And look, we can chew on this for a moment. I want the audience to participate, because you got to get, as OB said, you got to get there once. And I know we've seen seasons like that, but I'm saying this era of Aggie football, you got to get there before I can look ahead, right? Because to me, one of the things I said to start off the show was, we've seen one good year and then a drop-off. How do we see sustained success? But before we go down that stretch, let's just take one step at a time. And that first step is what a 9-win season could look like, or a 10-win season look like for this year's team, and what that can do. Couple things it'll do. I think it'll be like they figured it out, right? And that's for the casuals and for the diehard college football fans and those that come after A&M anytime they can. All right, it lessens the blow. You go 10-2 with a win over Texas, or you go 10-2 with wins over Notre Dame or LSU, one of those teams, because you're going to have to get to 10-2. You're going to have to win one of those huge road games. Not only do you win a ranked game on the road, you beat one of the perceived titans of college football and perceived college football playoff teams. That in itself changes the way I think folks talk about A&M. Now, there's those, and who cares about what people say? Let's do it on the field, right? But that is a step. And what does that step do then for proof of concept for Mike Elko? When he says, you come to Texas A&M, you're going to get a real football program, like the intro says, right? You're going to get a real football program, and look what we've done in 2 years. 9 wins, I think, gets you close to that conversation, but you still got to take a bigger step. But you get 10. Not only does it buy you more time, and I think it solidifies this 26 class, and it changes the way we as a fan base, as a group, look at the program, right? But if you're able to do that, it puts, I believe, the rest of the SEC on notice, because I'm going to use Texas as my example here. Texas had some advantages coming to the SEC that we've talked about before. Recruiting to the SEC, even though they're in the Big 12, getting some wins in a down conference and able to recruit the SEC style of players. And also, they did it. Props to them. They won their schedule last year, but a down-ish schedule for SEC standards, and they were able to do it. So now, the way we look at Texas, remember there was about a 10-year window, or maybe an 8-year window, where we're like, they're probably going to figure it out at some point, but they haven't done it yet. And until they do, they're going to be 7-5, 8-4. I know that Tom Herman had a couple nice years, but overall, it was, when are they going to get it done? And the whole we're back, and they weren't back. I think doing that kind of puts the rest of the SEC in college football on notice. A&M has the right coach. They have now proven that they can win. They are now building towards that. So the drop-off from one year to the next isn't as magnificent. Because when you look at the offensive line, right, some of those guys are probably moving on to the NFL. So who's the next group that comes in? They've done a great job recruiting that. And also, I think what winning does is it keeps guys in-house, right? But for them to get to that level, to that 9-win, 10-win style of team, you better be developing NFL players. And all the conversations we've had with Billy and insiders, and we as well, will tell you that this team should have 8, 9, 10 guys drafted this year, right? Hopefully more. They should. I mean, just look. I mean, is Torian going to get drafted? Hopefully he comes back for another year. I want all these guys to max out their eligibility as long as they can. But you've got guys like Will Lee, like Casey Concepcion, like Le'Veon Moss, right? Tyreek Chappelle, potentially, right? These guys that have a chance to really enhance their resume for the NFL. And also this year, I hope what they're doing, and I think they are, is giving opportunities to the next year group, right? So, but getting to that 9 and 10 win plateau gives you proof of concept, gives you a team that now knows what it takes to get there. Last year's team was learning the system, knew how to get off to a very nice start, and they crashed and burned. Also, what I think it'll say is you kept your quarterback healthy. If you get to a 9 or 10 win season, I believe that means Marcel survives the season, something we haven't seen here in a few years. Those are all part of the conversation. And for, I guess, selfish reasons, my offseason would be a lot better. It would be a lot nicer offseason, right? We all take these wins and losses. The wins make us feel so good. I mean, we all remember the cloud that we were on when we beat LSU to only come crash landing in South Carolina and find out that Le'Veon was done for the year. We all know what that feels like. But if you stay healthy and you prove what this program can be, and then there's a step from that point. But let's get to that step first. Let's go back to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Mr. Nygren, you got some talking points for us.
Yeah, let's play a little game. I know you do this with Billy a lot. So let's do a little blind ranking on your chance of an Aggie winning this award that they've been nominated preseason. We'll go 1 through 5, 1 being the most likely, 5 being the least likely.
Okay.
We'll start off with one of Armaje Reed Adams or Trey Zune winning the Outland Trophy.
Given to the most outstanding offensive lineman in the country. 1 through 5?
1 through 5.
And that doesn't mean, okay, so I'm leaning towards 4.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I'm predicting him to win, correct? That just means he's
like what
in the top 8-ish range, right?
Yeah, like what how likely, I guess how likely it is, or
I'm gonna go 4.
Okay. Next up, Marcel Reed winning the Manning Award.
I'm gonna go 3.
Okay. Next up, Tyler White winning the Ray Guy Award.
4.
Didn't you just use 4 on Armaje?
I can only use it once?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the game.
Yeah, it's 1 through 5. Like you have to without.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that. Oh man. Hold on. I got to rethink this whole thing.
Okay.
No. Okay.
So
sorry, Marcel, I'm moving you to 2, just because I think Tyler White has a better chance. I'll give Tyler White a 3.
1 is more likely, 5 is least
likely.
Oh
my God, I'm the worst game player ever. Okay, well, we're going to play it my way. 5 is most likely.
Okay,
I thought I said that to you out loud, and you say, yeah.
1 most. Okay, we'll flip it. 5 most likely, 1 least likely.
Okay.
So who's?
So I'm giving the offensive linemen, Trey Zune and Armaje, a 4. Okay. I'm giving Tyler White a 3, and I'm giving Marcel a 2.
Okay. 1 of Le'Veon Moss or Reuben Owens
5.
winning the Doak Walker. Okay. Last one of Torian York or Will Lee winning the Chuck Bednarik Award.
I guess that's a 2. That's the last one's left is 2 or 1?
I think, is 5 not your last one left?
I gave the running backs a 5.
Oh, yeah. I guess, 1. I forgot we flipped.
1. By default.
Yeah.
I might flip.
Okay, now that you know what the 5 are.
I might flip running back and offensive line.
Okay.
But, yeah.
That was solid.
Yeah, I think it was one of our worst segments we've ever done. To be frankly honest with you, I think right now Billy is crashing his car wherever he is. What in the world are they doing?
We're tap dancing.
We're tap dancing.
That's what it is. And then you guys were talking about the 2018 playoff. And Pete Thamel did a article about what that would look like. So it would eliminate the conference title games, which I don't think you're on board with. I don't know how many people in the college football world are on board with eliminating that. It would give 7 auto bids to each of the SEC.
Well, let me stop you for a minute. I don't know how I feel about that. Because I almost feel like we've got to figure out the conference championships to actually matter. Right? Like, if you lose the conference championship, should you get into the playoffs?
No.
Yes, if a team that didn't play in it would get in. See what I'm saying? Like, if 3 SEC teams are getting in, and the team that didn't go to the, didn't have a chance to lose, is just auto grandfathered in. I have some issues with the conference championship. I do not want to lose the conference championship game.
I don't either.
Hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think we've got to we've got to make it matter, and I don't know how you make it matter other than in soccer, trophies matter. And I think in college football, winning your conference championship matters, but then it's forgotten a week later if you lose in the playoffs.
Yeah. I disagree with you. I think the way to go is just to get rid of it altogether, and your regular season champion is your conference champion. To me, that makes the most sense, especially with more playoff games coming in the future.
I can see that,
That
Nick.
makes more sense to me. It gives
fair.
more, I guess, validity to a third team that didn't play in a conference championship game to make it into the playoffs. I think at this point, they're kind of just, every year I have the same thought of, well, what does this game even matter? Because both these SEC teams are going to be in the playoff, plus the third team on the outside looking in is going to be in the playoffs. So it's like, that's, to me, is the only way to, I guess, make the regular season matter still, is just get rid of the conference championship game completely, award the auto bid to the regular season conference champion.
Yeah, I can get down with that.
I agree with that.
I like the spirit of the SEC championship game, the spirit of it. But if we're talking about an expanded playoff world where we're having this many teams in it, then it's almost unneeded. It's not needed.
Yeah, so the SEC and the Big Ten each get 7. I think that's
too much.
That's way too many. The ACC and Big 12 each get 5. That's
the ACC gets 5,
as well as the Big 12.
Do we have any potential? Like, who would that have looked like last year?
So here's the ACC projections for this year. So that means Clemson, Miami, Louisville, SMU, and Georgia Tech, just based on the win totals.
Georgia Tech's win total projections are 7.5.
Yeah.
Right.
If you went by last year's conference rankings, it would have been SMU, Clemson, Miami, Syracuse, and Louisville.
So I remember the NBA, and I know, Caden, you're not a big NBA guy, but there was a time that like 50-win teams would be like your 8th seed, right? And 50 wins used to be like a high mark, right?
That was a lot.
But there was 8 and 9 seeds getting 50 wins. Like, that's different than 7 wins in college football.
Very.
Right? I'm cool with, like, if you have won 9 games, I feel like there should be like a number. And I don't know what kind of algorithm and system you could put in place, but you better win at least 9 games to get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think an 8-win team should get in the playoffs. I just don't.
Yeah, last year, if you took 5 from the Big 12, it would have been Arizona State, Iowa State, BYU, Colorado, and Baylor would have all made it.
And here's the projection for this year. So if it would be Kansas State, Texas Tech, Utah, Baylor, Arizona State.
I mean, I don't know. Football's just a different sport, guys. Like, it really is a week-to-week sport. And what they're saying is, it's not that week-to-week anymore.
No.
You can go 7-5, and maybe you'll upset. Like, I don't need Cinderella stories in football.
Yeah.
I need the best football for my playoffs.
Now, here's the real kicker. It also gives 2 bids to teams outside of the Power 4, so Notre Dame is likely one, and then the group of 5, and 2 at-large teams.
Could be from the SEC.
That's ridiculous because Notre Dame's in the playoff every year.
Yeah.
What a deal for them. I'm sure they're just like, heck yeah, let's do that.
It would allow for 20 on-campus college football games.
That I can get down with.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Now, does anybody disagree with me? In that scenario, I want A&M in the playoffs because I know somebody's going to hear me wrong. I always want them in the playoffs. Even if they're a 2-win team, I want them in the playoffs. Okay, I want my team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But I don't believe an 8-4 team should be in the playoffs.
No.
Like, what are you being rewarded for?
That's ridiculous.
To me, you should be rewarded for a high standard in a grueling league. Now, there are other leagues that aren't as grueling. I recognize that. But you better be at least a 9-win team. I honestly, I don't think teams under 10 wins should be making the playoffs.
No. I think double-digit wins should be anything less than that.
So what do you do in that scenario, though? You just don't have that round? Sorry, ESPN and CBS, you don't get your games this week,
Yeah,
or
I guess
Fox.
that's tough because it fluctuates year from year. You could have like 20 10-win teams, or you could have 8. So it'll be tough.
There's got to be someone smart enough that can morph a playoff algorithm that here's the benchmark, and you still have those games. They're just bowl games, not playoff games.
Yeah. Randy said, I think you should have at least 7 wins versus Power 4 schools to qualify.
Okay.
That's not.
Well, but I think in this world, though, we're probably moving towards 9 regular season games in your conference.
Yeah. Because I think if you did 12 regular season games and then had a 28 team playoffs, that's you're looking at like an NFL. The national champion played essentially an NFL regular season.
Oh, Dalton wants me to recognize him on the YouTube page. Dalton Hughes. Breaking news. Nuño doesn't want A&M to make the playoffs. No 8-4 team deserves to be in. I don't think an 8-4 team should get in.
I don't either. A&M or not, 8-4.
I want A&M in at 2-10, just for a chance. Actually, we're not Florida State. We don't go 2-10.
Yeah.
But I don't want. But of course, I want A&M in the playoffs. But it should be rewarded for not an average season, an exemplary season.
Yeah. Someone said, Aggie fans said AI can do that, create an algorithm. It's an ever-changing college football world, and I think it's going to be almost impossible to figure out a way that 28 teams.
Look, as Brandon Marcello said earlier in the show, he believes it to be a negotiating ploy, and for 16 teams.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I think 16 teams is too many.
I think I like the 12-team format. I think that's where they should stay. I don't think if they're going to do anything, they should go less. They shouldn't go more. I think 16 is just way too many.
I wanted the 12, and I like the 12. It did make those games exciting.
Yeah.
I think 8 is probably the right number.
Yeah.
I mean, because theoretically, how many teams every year have a legitimate shot at winning the national championship game? If we look at last year's playoffs, right? Do you have last year's playoff graphic, Nick, that we can look at? No? Okay. Well, let's just pretend like we saw it. Yeah. Tennessee, I thought would have had a legitimate shot. They got embarrassed. Who had the legitimate? It was the 4 teams that played. Maybe in the Final Four, you had Ohio State, you had Texas, you had Penn State, and Notre Dame. And I don't know if I would have thought Notre Dame had a legitimate shot, but they did play great in the playoffs.
Yeah, they proved themselves later on. I would say the number of teams that can win is probably no more than 8 to 10.
Beeklow says, I think, and Beeklow is a football coach. He says, I think you can legit name 8 teams that could win the title each year. And maybe in this era of college football.
Now you could, but before like COVID, it was hard to try and find more than like 5.
And by the way, we've always had blowouts in the playoffs. I mean,
Notre Dame got blown out by Clemson like 34-3 one year, and everybody was like, "Oh, maybe Notre Dame should have made it," but hindsight's 2020.
All right, let's hit a break here. Rollo Insurance, when insurance matters most, who's going to answer your call? That's Rollo Insurance. The whole gang there, by the way, their headquarters is in College Station, Highway 6. You should check them out. But their whole gang is like a bunch of Aggie diehards, right? But again, they're super local, but they're all over the country now. 60 offices in Texas, headquarters on Highway 6. But you can find them in Utah and other states. They're fantastic, Oklahoma as well. And they're going to take great care of you because they have the best when it comes to home, auto, business, and ranch insurance. You can start a relationship with an expert who's going to put you first. Your agent becomes familiar with your specific situation, providing a customized protection that mass market insurers simply cannot match. The difference is real with Rollo Insurance. You can call them up at 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO, or check out the website, rolloinsurance.com. Tap dancing here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The vacationer, Luke Evangelist. That wasn't that funny.
No, that was funny. The vacationer.
We're going to talk to the vacationer. Only he takes vacations during August. About the newest transfer guard to A&M basketball, Ali Diba.
Yep.
So he's another scorer.
Yeah, he is. 17 points a game at Southern Illinois. One of the most prolific scorers at the mid-major level, similar to Jakari Lane. And you're absolutely right. It's another guy that can put the ball in the hoop in the way that Bucky wants it.
So was he on our, when did he get on A&M's radar? What do we know about him?
So 2 days before he committed, so Wednesday, he was granted an additional year of eligibility by the NCAA, which means that he was in the portal. He entered before the deadline, but he didn't know if he was even going to have another place to play.
Okay.
If the NCAA would let him play. So with Rashawn Aggie, he's awaiting that decision, but he's already committed somewhere. He committed and then is awaiting it. Diba was awaiting it before he would even commit because he didn't want to commit to a school before knowing if he could even play and have to work out all those details. So once he got approved, A&M was in the market for him. DePaul, some other SEC and ACC schools were looking at him, but it's all about who has the space for him. And one of the benefits of building a roster from scratch is you're probably the last team to get to 15 spots.
Yeah.
So they just added Noah Shelby to get to 14. They have options to add potentially a walk-on, but let's say hypothetically Rashawn Aggie's waiver gets declined. You need more scoring ability. It's a little bit of a different fit than what Aggie would bring at the 4 or the 5. Diba will play anywhere from the 2 to the 4. So you just needed extra scoring just in case. Now, if Aggie is able to play and you have all of that team together, now you're looking at a team that goes from, okay, maybe we're looking at just making the tournament to potentially we're talking about seeding more than we are just being.
So this guy's going to play.
Yeah, he's probably, if I had to put a number on it, I need to see how he does in practice, but anywhere from 7th to 9th man on the team. And when you play buckyball, 11 guys are going to play 10 plus minutes a game. So everybody's going to play. And right now it looks like every name that we talk about, plus guys like Zach Clements and Josh Holloway are probably your bottom of the rotation that's going to get minutes, like significant minutes.
Sure.
And then Jamie Vinson and Chris McDermott will probably play sparingly here and there. But I love 1 through 11 that this team has depth-wise, and Diba just strengthens that even more.
So the fact that this was just approved, is that a sign of things to come for Aggie, or do we?
That is the age-old question. Is you would like to think the NCAA is working their way through waivers. You get Ruben on, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday? I forget. I was vacationing.
Yes, you were.
But Ruben and then Diba the same day or the day after that. You would hope that Aggie, his case is a little bit different. It's a lot more complicated from what I've been led to believe in terms of what was happening with him at New Mexico State. But from what you would hope, if the NCAA is working through waivers, who's to say Rashawn Aggie can't be tomorrow? But it also wouldn't surprise me if it was 2 weeks from now. You just never know when dealing with the NCAA.
Well, and if I remember correctly, wasn't Bucky talking about Aggie already kind of asserting himself as one of the team leaders?
He's the vocal leader of that team. I watched probably 5 practices before he got there and 5 after. And not to say that practice was quiet before he got there, but it was a lot more widespread as to who was being vocal. But when Aggie got there, he was dominant from day one and was the voice on defense and on offense and really helping build that team chemistry, because there is, aside from the clique of Kansas players you brought over, nobody has played together other than him and Marcus Hill. And so Aggie and Marcus were really kind of bringing that team chemistry together, hanging out with the team off the court. So not only was he impactful on the court, but in terms of team chemistry and personality, you're not going to find a bigger, more bubbly person than Rashawn Aggie.
Ali Diba can shoot the 3 ball?
About 33% on 3 attempts per game, which that's kind of all you need to play buckyball. He won't be the best shooter on the team, but his game is more so driving to the hoop and being super athletic and quick. I think a good comparison for him would be like Dexter Dennis in terms of...
Can shoot the 3 ball.
He's a little bit bigger. You don't need him to shoot the 3, but he can. But the main thing you love about Dexter is he can get up and block any shot. He can run in transition, and he's super quick getting to the basket, and his athleticism is what makes him such a great player. Ali Diba is probably the same, where I'm not expecting him to be a volume three-point shooter, but he's going to be that guy that gets downhill, and buckyball is all about getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim, or shooting a three. Diba is more so his strength is getting to the rim.
I haven't, I don't think I've spoken to you about Wade, but how did his run with Milwaukee go, his summer camp run?
He didn't really get many minutes. I think he only probably put up like 6 points was his max in a game. For him and Manny and for Zurich, it's kind of wait and see what opportunities will come up overseas. Boots just signed with a team in Israel's first division after he led his team in scoring in Turkey. Anderson Garcia is, I believe he's selected to play for the Dominican Republic national team. I forget who they're playing, but it's another country in the Caribbean. There's Aggies in the pros doing big things for sure.
Speaking of Manny, we're about
to have him on. Great
We're going to have
segue.
Manny on the show here in a moment.
Great kid, great ambassador for
He's
A&M.
older than you.
We're the same age.
Okay. He is more accomplished.
Not even gonna
He does not
oppose
take
that.
vacation in August.
No, you're right.
I think you should, by the way. I'm just giving you a hard time. We'll come back and we'll do that. Daily Company, a family-owned and licensed company that offers HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and generator services. That's available to you 24/7. HVAC, when they do that, they're going to help you with your thermostat repairs, your refrigerant leaks. You've got your furnace failures, your seasonal tune-ups. On the plumbing side of things, they'll take care of those leak repairs, those clogged drains, water heater installation, and much, much more. Electrical wiring, outlet repairs, you name it. And on the generator side, they can repair it, they can maintenance it, they can install it, and they'll make sure that you're ready for any power outage out there. They serve Bryan and College Station, Houston, and Austin. Upfront pricing, no surprises. Contact the Daily Company at 979-2060-2020. That is 979-260-2020. Or visit them online at godaily.com to experience the daily difference. We're breaking away here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner. That's cheesy, I know. I know it's a little cheesy. You're for it? Yeah. We're going to talk a little breakaway here. Brian McCormack is in the house, Executive Director. Good to see you, sir.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Jackson Brasseux, what's up? I almost said Brasseux. I know you. What's up, man?
How's it going?
That's all right. Thanks for joining us. And Manny Obaseki, who's on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. What's up, Manny?
What's up, guys? Good hearing y'all's voices. Good seeing y'all. I miss y'all so much. How y'all doing?
We're great, man. I know you've got a workout here soon, so I appreciate you making a few minutes for us. You guys probably know this about Manny. One of my favorite people to talk to because he's always engaging, always loving to talk to folks, and so I love you making a few minutes for us. All right, so talk to me. How long you been at the gig now?
Yeah, about 2.5 years. This will be semester number 6 for me.
Okay,
just going by quick. Yeah.
So it all gets started next week?
26th.
Yeah.
26th. So a week from tomorrow, man. So we're sprinting. It's go time. Yeah.
So I do want to ask you about your basketball connect. I didn't know he was so tall when he walked in here. I knew you were tall, but I didn't know you were so tall. Yep. So you've got a connection with Melvin Watkins, kind of?
Yeah. Well, you mentioned his name. I never mentioned the name when I tell the story because I have nothing but love for this man.
Right.
Nothing but love. But yeah, so out of high school, Woodlands High School, class of 2000, if I'm going to date myself here, got recruited to be an invited walk-on.
Yep.
And so that was all in and did like signing day at the Woodlands High. We hadn't put a basketball player in a Power 5 in a long time. And so they asked me to do signing day, signed everything, took pictures with the press. And my parents didn't have the heart to tell me for like 3 days that as I'm signing, the staff called to say, hey, we're rescinding the offer.
Oh my gosh.
And so this was no injustice. It was a good basketball decision. They had a scholarship level player who was willing to walk on. It was the right call, but it's devastating, like rejection experience for me. I ended up going around the country playing ball, chasing my scholarship. But it is not lost on me that on August 26th and every Tuesday that I get to do this, like I will preach the Bible and like preach the gospel on the same court that I thought I was going to play ball on. Right. So I'll run out of the same tunnel, and you can't tell me God doesn't have a plan. It took me a while to get to Aggieland, but I got here as soon as I could.
Well, we're happy you're here.
Yeah.
How'd you get involved with Breakaway?
Well, I'm not really officially involved with Breakaway. I attended pretty often my freshman year, and I kind of got acquainted with Brian through some FCA events and things like that. But yeah, I started following Jesus my senior year of high school, and so it was easy to get plugged into Breakaway and love it. My girlfriend is serves there also, so
volunteer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Jackson's gonna have my job one day. He doesn't know yet. Yeah,
he's gonna have it
for sure.
Manny, how'd you get involved? How'd you start going? Just take me through that.
Man, so first things first, I grew up in the church. My mom, she put a lot of emphasis on my faith and just being closer to God and growing my relationship with God throughout my life. And I kind of tried to run with it as I got older. And as I got to college, I was looking for a community. First, I tried FCA, and I wasn't able to go to it as consistently as I wanted to. And then I heard about Breakaway with a couple of students. I remember I was just walking around and having conversations with different people, and they kind of brought up Breakaway to me, and they said it was every Tuesday. And I remember the first time I went, and I don't think Brian was there. It was somebody else. I forgot his name. This was my freshman year, so it was summer of 21, and I was completely blown away, inspired. I was forever changed that night, and just seeing the thousands of people that was there, all in the same fellowship, praising God and thanking Him for everything He's done for us. I mean, it completely blew my mind. I kept going. I didn't stop. I went till my senior year in college, and it was a great experience.
Manny, catch us up, man. What's your life like right now? I know you've got a lot of things you're working on.
Yeah, man. I've been out the way, putting my head down, working. Had some workouts with some NBA G League teams so far. Have a couple offers. Still trying to wait and see what's next. Got some other teams that we're waiting on to hear back from. But man, the journey's been good, man. Been at home, working out every single day, 3 times a day. Trying to stay rooted in the Word as well, and just been enjoying myself. Got married, so that was probably one of the biggest things that's happened. So But man, other than that, man, I've just been out the way, just enjoying life. But I'm for sure blessed. I'm super blessed to be back home and have the opportunity to work out and have the opportunities that are right in front of me.
Jackson, talk to me about your off season. So the season doesn't go as planned last year.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have been working hard. What have you been working on?
Well, I've been here in College Station all summer, grinding, lifting a lot of weights with our strength coach, Mac. And yeah, that's kind of been my summer. A lot of lifting weights, a lot of eating. And yeah.
And a lot of the guys stick around?
A lot of the pitchers did.
Yeah.
A lot of the position players went off to go play ball.
Okay.
But everybody just reported back today. So the locker room's filling up. A lot of new faces. Yeah.
Is it exciting at this point, or is it like you put your head down, time to go to work?
It's exciting. I think the most exciting part is meeting all the new players.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, a lot of the guys seem super cool, and yeah, excited for that.
So, Brian, what has this community, how's the transition for you? You said 2.5 years you've been in town. How's that transition been?
Yeah, it's been wild. I got 5 kids, man. So that's a lot of emotions to to manage. I joke, and it's stopped being a joke. It's dead serious. That I think that Aggie hospitality is underrated, not overrated.
Mm-hmm.
The welcome we've gotten to this town, this community, and just like the greater nation of Aggies has been off the charts. And just the way that I'm so encouraged. I didn't realize just how much breakaway is considered part of Aggie culture. Like it's just so grafted into the culture, and to get to lead that has been a blast. And for the last couple of years, like all 7 McCormacks, man, like we've been there every Tuesday night. You'll see us at Fuego or Gumby's afterwards. Like we're those responsible parents with like kids asleep in the booth at 1 a.m. or whatever. But it's an honor, man. We love it.
That's great to hear. Manny, have you been paying attention to what Bucky's doing there with the basketball program?
Yeah. So I know a couple guys. Like one of my boys, Mackenzie. Him and I, we were in the Nigerian Olympic team trial back when I was a freshman, and that's my guy. I know a little bit about Zach, and there's some others that Rylan as well, because we played each other in high school, so I'm pretty familiar with the faces, some of them. But Bucky, I was with them. I was able to hang out with them before I left, and they're a really good group of people. I love what they're about. Super positive. I like the culture that they're bringing into A&M. And they showed me kind of like how their style of play, what they wanted to do. And I'm super excited. I mean, I'm super excited for the future of what they're going to bring to College Station. And I'm praying for the success. I think they're going to be great. I think they're going to be super successful. And I'll be for sure watching, and I'll try to catch a game.
Brian, let's close out with this. Just tell us about Tuesday, what we can expect.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh, what we're going to expect is a miracle. I think if you ask any other student at any other campus in the country what it would take for, 7, 8, maybe 9,000 students to be packed into Reed Arena for a Bible study and a time of worship, they'd say that would require a miracle, and that's what it is. So August 26th, Reed, 9 p.m., get there early, new faith, no faith, seasoned faith, whatever. There's a seat for you. It's going to be special.
Brian, Jackson, Manny, we appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
All right, we'll hit a break here. We'll come back with one final segment. Thank you, Manny. Talk to you soon. We'll be back here on TexAgs Live.
Manny, I think
All right, we're back here. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. We do have some breaking news that involves A&M, but not really. Okay, that's called a Nuñoism. It does, but it doesn't. Are you familiar with the name Steve Angeli?
I am.
Who is Steve Angeli?
He is the current Syracuse starting quarterback.
Well, he was just named the starting quarterback today. But where did he come from?
He came from Notre Dame.
So not long ago, this offseason, I don't know, it was like May or April, whenever he went into the portal, he went in because he didn't think he was going to start at Notre Dame, right? Whenever it was that he went in. I think it was late in the offseason. You can check that for me. And he goes to Syracuse, and he beat out LSU transfer Ricky Collins. So obviously not necessarily A&M specific, but he was one of the candidates for the Notre Dame starting job, and then lost it after the spring game. He realized he wasn't going to have a chance.
April 17th.
See, I was rightish. Yeah. Right-ish.
Close enough.
Reese, what else do you have for us at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center?
We had a texter texting in about the college football playoff format discussion we had earlier, saying you need to have at least 9 wins to be eligible for the college football playoff and at least 1 ranked win. And I asked you, is the ranked win when you play them or at the end of the year?
So I'm a believer that a ranking is a moment in time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you beat top 10 LSU, at that time, that's who they are, and that to me holds weight for the whole season. Now, I say that to you, when Texas beat Michigan last year, Michigan to me was not they were not the Michigan team that their ranking said they were. They finished the season as that team. I think they finished the season winning 2 major games, right? Yeah. But so I almost feel like your first month rankings, I'm putting all these qualifiers in there.
Okay.
Your first month rankings don't matter. October 1st on, your ranking matters. So A&M beat LSU last year in October.
Yeah.
What were they? 10th, 11th? What?
I think LSU was 8 at the time that they played them.
That to me matters at that point in time.
Yeah.
Just like South Carolina beat A&M.
Mm-hmm.
That, yes, A&M finished out of the top 25. They lost 3 of their last 4 games.
We know.
Why do I have to repeat the story and make it worse for me? But at that time, they beat a A&M team that was ranked. So I'm a believer of when you play them, that ranking matters. Except for early in the season when the rankings don't really matter because we don't know these teams. And in today's world with all these roster changes, everybody's just guessing.
Yeah. Let's not sit here and act like Georgia Tech actually beat a top 10 team in Florida State last year.
Correct. Because how many games did Florida State win last year?
2.
And I also think we can be, guys, it doesn't have to be black and white. There could be a little gray involved in the way we assess teams. I just did one for you with Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan was not as good as their rankings early on, but they played pretty well. So they were a good team, good-ish team. They finished well. A&M was an excellent team, and they finished poorly, right? The nuance involved can be a part of the conversation, Reese. So.
And I think that's where you kind of have a cloud of nobody really knows because it's like, okay, like you said, you just started adding in all these qualifiers. So it's like, what are the for the 1 ranked win? We just came up with 4 different.
Yeah, but I would say to you, it's got to be one way. And my way would be, it is or it isn't, right? And my way would be, when you play them, that's their ranking.
And I would agree with you. Other SEC news, Auburn has come out and said that they will retire Cam Newton's number. Your thoughts?
I mean, I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
I am too.
Heisman Trophy winner. Obviously, what he did that year was amazing. What Auburn was able to do that year was amazing. So yeah, he absolutely. By the way, I think Johnny Manziel.
I think so. Now, do you think LSU should retire Joe Burrow's number?
Yeah,
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think who has had a better year than Joe Burrow in the last 25 years in college football.
I don't think anybody has.
Exactly.
6,000 yards and
right?
60 touchdowns.
I would absolutely say that Joe Burrow should. Now, look, I don't know how often LSU retires people. They've had a lot of success, right?
Yeah, I don't know if they do.
But if I were, I would assume he would be the one.
So if you were in charge of A&M retiring numbers, what numbers?
Johnny and Mike?
2 and 13.
I know there's more.
There's obviously more, but
yeah, and then you start running out of numbers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like these NBA teams,
Maybe not retire, but maybe like some kind of way of honor them with a statue or some kind of something.
Well, like in the NBA, they like put the numbers in the rafters, and some of these teams do it for just like anybody, and it's like, okay, like at some point you're gonna have dudes going out on the court rocking numbers like 48 in basketball.
Yeah, it seems, especially in college football, it seems like really hard to retire a number just because you got 105 guys on a roster. So it would be tough for me. But I agree, David. Statue, something somewhere in the stadium on the ribbon boards or something. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, like maybe a little podium behind the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Johnny Manziel just fingers up. Tomorrow on the show, Nick Savage will be your host.
Let's go.
I got some.
Sorry, everyone.
You seemed a little more excited. You seem less excited.
Well,
I'm
Reese
excited.
is not even going to be here.
I'm not going to be here, but I'm excited for Nick to host.
He won't listen a lick.
Shereen Williams will be with Nick.
I'm excited about that.
OB will be with Nick. Garrett Chadwell will be with Nick.
Oh, wow.
Coach G will be with Nick.
Nice.
And I'm sure we'll book somebody else. I'll help Nick book some people.
Playback Central. Playback radio on TexAgs Live.
Thank you. I'll be back on Wednesday, by the way. I just got some stuff going on. All right. Thank you so much. We'll see you mañana.